the action.
What a moment!
From all the biggest games.
This is Sports Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
You're listening to Open All Mics on the BBC Radio Scotland. 6 games we've got covered for you this afternoon. We've got reporters at all these grounds, but I'll bring you the goal news from right across the country from 5:30. We've got reaction from managers, from pundits, and of course from the supporters. Let's get another bounce around the grounds. Billy Dodds is in Open All Mics duty for us at Celtic Park. Billy, just talk to us about Dundee United. If you're going there, you're Jim Goodwin, an opposition manager, how on earth do you get something? What gives you the best chance of taking something from this game?
I've said it many a time, it's your stages of the game. You make sure you stay in it first 15 minutes, not concede anything. Then you try and get to half time and be in the game, try and get in level at the break, get a wee refresh and then go again. So you've got to put a seeded out into the opposition their mindset, but you know Celtic, they just keep picking away at you. It's so hard. Nobody comes here and gets it easy. You heard Martin Dowd earlier on as well talking about the 29 goals for and none against. That says it all. It's so hard to even score here, never mind take a point. But that's the way to do it. It's the key where you stay in the game, make them not panic, but you make them realise, look, we are going to be hard to break down today. You're going to have to do something special to break us down and cut us open.
Steve McGinn, you'll have been there many times as an opposition player and know the challenge that faces these United players this afternoon. I remember when Andy Halliday was at Hearts against Ange Postecoglou's Celtic, and he came off during that game, and they said to me, it's overwhelming, it's the pace, it's intensity, you just don't get a second. And actually right now, the way that Brendan Rodgers' side is playing, it's similar, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think, I mean, you always try and look in the glass half full. You worry about what Celtic could do to you. Sometimes it can overwhelm you. Dundee United have already taken points off of Celtic. I mean, the game plan today is going to be the same. Billy touched on it earlier about them not scoring a lot of goals. Dundee United are third in the league largely because they defend the box as well as anyone in the league. They really frustrated Celtic in the game in Tannadice. And even the last game, Jim Goodwin made changes to rest players for the big game at the weekend. It took a late Rio Hatate goal to clinch it for Celtic, and Dundee United a couple of set pieces. I watched the game at 1-0 where they started to make the Celtic fans nervous. So there'll be no great change to Dundee United's game plan, and I think when the Celtic team goes up, Jim Goodwin's been the manager, he'll point to the fact that Celtic make changes. Celtic players won't really want this game in the middle of that huge double header against Bayern, so let's try and take of any sort of weakness we can find with Celtic today.
Yeah, full coverage of that game from 6 o'clock on Sports Sound on Tuesday evening. Let's then get to Dens Park. Dundee up against Aberdeen. Willie, you watched the Dons in cup action last weekend. Did you see signs of improvement there in terms of performance?
Yeah, a little bit, Kenny, but you know, it's a bit like the Elgin game as well, isn't it? It's difficult to judge against the lower league opposition. You know, it was the goals came at the right time for them, just after half time. You know, there has to be a bigger improvement in the performances from Aberdeen. They've got a decent cup draw. Well, you think it's a decent cup draw in the Scottish Cup, and it's such important kind of an aspect is to get a little run in that cup competition. They've got a free kick outside the box. Kevin Nisbet, who takes it, it's a poor effort. If he could find a bit of form as well, it would certainly help. You know, they're lacking, you know, that instinct in front of goals. Listen, the manager's putting together a new team, a new squad as well. But his formation doesn't change. You know, it's the same formation. He goes out every game that I've watched. It's been the same formation. It's been the 4 at the back, the 2 sitting midfield players, 3 in front of them and 1 up top. Sometimes the number 10 goes up to play alongside the number 9, but that's about it. So he's got an identity for this team. The problem is that he's not getting results, so he needs it today. But so does Dundee. It's, you know, Dundee, precarious position in the league on that 27 points, you know, just 1 point ahead of the second bottom spot. So it's a huge game for both clubs.
Willie, has there been any discussion in the North East about now I know he's extremely young, but Fletcher Boyd's never been given a sniff this season, and you know, he signed a longer term contract. He burst onto the scene and looks like an absolute brilliant natural goal scorer. there's been trouble at the top end of the park we're talking about, but he doesn't seem to have been looked at all.
No, not at all. He's not been mentioned. The manager's not really mentioned him. He hasn't been in the spotlight.
But amongst the punters, has there been any discussion about it, in terms of why is he not getting a sniff?
Not really.
No.
No, I don't think so. The punters still seem quite content with everything. Turning a little bit, Michael, with results. You would expect that to happen. But no, it's Sockler, and he had Papa Gay up for a couple of games up top, and then he's reverted back to Kevin Nisbet, who just doesn't look like the Kevin Nisbet of old at all. He doesn't have that instinct. Doesn't seem to have lost the instinct or the willingness, even inside the box, to get into the right positions. And when he does get an opportunity, as we saw last week, the one that he's hit the post with, the confidence just isn't there. He couldn't miss the goal that he did score with. So I think when you look at Tillene, he's bringing his own players in. Nicky Devlin's been dropped to the bench the last couple of games as well. Jensen, who I think has been impressive since coming to the club, probably the most impressive player, playing at right back, and Jack McKenzie at left back. He's going to stick with the identity that he's got. It's going to be the same formation, and he's just waiting for it to click and all these new players actually become a team rather than individuals and find some confidence.
See the Nicky Devlin thing now, correct me if I'm wrong, the 2 or 3 games ago he came off later on, and I thought it was perhaps a knock. He's not started since Jensen's gone in. Was there a knock, or is this purely just being dropped now? And if it is being dropped, that's a massive gamble, I think, because he's what I would think is a mainstay in the team. He's surely one of the leaders in the changing room. Vice captain. But Shinny's on the bench as well, so it's all changed. The answer to your question, I haven't heard anything about an injury. He's been on the bench, so you would imagine if you're on the bench, then you're fit enough to go into the field of play and start. So I think it's a decision that Jimmy Tillene has made. And Jensen he's been pretty good, and maybe Devlin looking perhaps a little bit tired. The Hibs game, the Hibs goal at the back post, where he hasn't really covered ground, and he hasn't been as effective as he was in the early part of the season, and maybe he just needs a rest. But you get rested, you get out of the team, you maybe not get back in it again.
Couple of early goals. How quickly things change in football. Queen's Park 0, Hamilton Accies 1, Scott Robinson after 5 minutes, and Morton 0, Airdrie 1. They certainly need victories, Airdrie. Ben Wilson with that opening goal on 6 minutes. Let's get to Leanne Crichton. She's at Fir Park. Motherwell up against Ross County. What's happening in the early stages here, Leanne?
There's a big chance there, Kenny. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you could hear me when I came in. Tony Watt, he's just hit the post with a left foot effort. It's been a pretty subdued start to the game in the opening couple of minutes. Both sides looking to try and find their feet, but Motherwell managed to turn it over. Tony Watt, he took a really good touch just in the edge of the penalty area, get the break of the ball, cut back inside, left foot shot, came back off the post, and luckily for Ross County back into the arms of Jordan Amisa in goals. But 0-0 so far, but certainly just a chance there, half chance for Ross County from distance. It was Ronan Hale with a strike, very audacious, for about 45 yards maybe, if the guys are going to see it in the studio. But Motherwell look as if they've got a bit about them. I like the fact that Lennon Miller's back in the middle of the pitch this afternoon, Andy Halliday in there alongside him. I think Stevie Frail will be delighted at the likes of even Dan Casey being back available and on the bench today from a defensive perspective. But as I touched on in the kind of scene set at the top, Kenny, these fans at Fir Park are desperate for a result this afternoon. But I know Don Cowie, and I know how he shapes up his teams and how they go about it, albeit their away record's been really poor this season, the lowest scorers in the division as well, with those away games. But hopefully we do get goals this afternoon. But as it stands, it's Motherwell 0, Ross County 0.
Another goal in the Championship. Wraith Rovers 1, Partick Thistle 0. Finlay Pollock with that goal on 8 minutes. Let's get to the top of the table clash. Falkirk against Ayr United. Thinking back to last weekend, it was a blistering start there for Chick when Thistle were the visitors. What's happening in the early stages today?
Effervescing, not blistering this week, Kenny. On the edge of the box challenge brought down Falkirk. Falkirk had a couple of chances. They've been a better team in the opening spell. It is Falkirk 0, Ayr United 0 at the moment, but there was a magnificent take by Ethan Ross down the left-hand side, and Keelan Adams down the right-hand side fizzed the ball right across or maybe just a yard out, right across the front of the goal. So tempting, but no Falkirk striker could get on the end of it. I would say that the Bairns are having the better of it against a United team and an all-change strip of all yellow with red trims. Let me just wait for this free kick, Ken. This could be interesting just at the edge of the box. Falkirk have players forward here. Let's see what anything can become of this. Referee just indicating just a two-man wall for Ayr United to do something with this. Great crowd inside there. It's whipped in. A little ball. Oh, it's just past the post. The header by Luke Graham just met, but he couldn't get it square on. Just put it beyond the post. Still Falkirk 0, Ayr United 0.
Let's get to third place Livingston. They're at home to Dunfermline. There for us is Alan Preston.
It's an even battle so far, Kenny, in the opening 10 minutes here. Livingston and Dunfermline, no chances to speak of at all, but this will be a real opportunity if Livingston can get these 3 points today with that game at Falkirk. Something's got to give there for them, and they'll be hoping that they can capitalise on this, but first and foremost they've got to take care of Dunfermline. 0-0 here at Armandale.
Too close to call, Alan, the title race in the Championship?
Yeah, I was here early on and I thought, honestly, if Falkirk had beaten Livingston, because they had one defeat in 50 games at that point, I thought it was all over. But then Livingston beat them that day and have subsequently beat them again, showing that Falkirk are a little bit vulnerable. Ayr United have come up the rails as well. It's a really good end of season race between these three clubs.
Cove Rangers 1, Annan Athletic 0. A Rhys Breen own goal after 8 minutes. Just to confirm the early goals elsewhere in the Championship: Wraith Rovers 1, Partick Thistle 0, Morton 0, Airdrie 1, and Queen's Park 0, Hamilton Accies 1. Let's try the line. The phone line, I think, is still at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to St Johnstone. What's happening there, Stephen Craigan?
Kelly have scored.
Oh, it's a goal for Kilmarnock. I don't know if you can hear me, Ken. It's a goal for Kilmarnock. I was just about to come on to you and praise how well St Johnstone are playing, how comfortable they are with the ball. Elliot Watt takes the ball off the goalkeeper. He tries to turn right. I think it's about 23, 24 yards outside the box. He tries to turn. He runs into Liam Polworth, nicks the ball off, plays a little 1-2, and Liam Polworth goes through and lifts the ball over Andy Fisher and goal. So a game that was going nowhere. It was two teams probably cancelling each other out. It's a home side that had the lead.
It's just we've gave St Johnstone a lot of credit over the last few weeks about growing into games, about not being as hard, being harder to play against. That's just a goalkeeper, midfielder turning blind. Liam Polworth, he's won it really aggressively. Good ball from Bobby Wales and a chip finish. That's the type of stuff that they haven't been doing for the last few weeks. Speak about winning 4 games and what it takes to win games. That's back to a month ago. Away at Rugby Park, one of the hardest places to go in the country, and you're playing straight passes. Your midfielder's trying to turn blind, and against the Derek McInnes team that's so aggressive, so up and at him. Yeah.
You talk about giving yourself an opportunity, as Stephen says, in the last few weeks, not doing things like that. That gives you the opportunity to stay in a game and get results. Did you say it was Elliot Watt, Craigs? I don't know if he's still on the line, but Elliot Watt in the middle of the park there. You just simply, as a midfielder, first of all, you can't come running to the ball flat like that. Never check your shoulders, no idea what's behind you, and as Stephen says, turn blind and expect to get away with that. And from the goalkeeper as well, you're passing that ball straight into a guy like that. And there was no defence around him. The centre half was probably a yard away from him, almost right on top of him. The whole setup of that was just criminal. It was basic.
We were both midfielders. Honestly, Michael backed this up. It's the best feeling ever when you're going to press a midfielder with a straight pass and you know they don't know you're coming. It's the best feeling, because you think, as long as I don't foul him, as long as the referee allows contact here, we're in.
Yeah, as you say, back to the...
a lot. Happened to young Wilson at Easter Road with Triantis. He didn't know what was behind him. Triantis won the ball, ran through and scored the goal. Wilson didn't get his body half turned. I've not seen the goal, obviously, but it sounds very, very similar.
Yeah, and you're talking about early stages of the game, away from home. You're giving yourself a glimmer of a chance of being able to find a way out of the hole they're in terms of relegation. That's just basic. It's basic stuff, and it happens far too often from St Johnstone.
Yeah, Liam Polworth with the opening goal on 9 minutes. Edinburgh City have gone ahead at home to Spartans. Innes Lawson on 9 minutes, 1-0 there. 1-0 to Alloa at home to Kelty Hearts. A Callum Flatman own goal on 11 minutes. That's you right up to date with all the goal news. Let's get back to Billy Dodge. He's at Celtic Park for us this afternoon. I've looked up a few times at the various screens in the studio here. Billy seems to be fairly relentless on the home side.
Yeah, as you'd expect, Celtic having tons of the ball, the attitude's there, the speed, the movement, the passing is all there. Just can't break Dundee United down. Dundee United have gone a back four there, a 4-4-1-1, a 4-4-2 at times with Alan Campbell just playing off Sam Dalby, but it's a deep 4-4-2, so it's making it difficult at times for Celtic, but Celtic still try to just pick away, try to get this breakthrough, Kenny.
Second goal for Hamilton Accies, 2-0 up away at Queen's Park. Ricky Lamy with that goal on 13 minutes. Arbroath 1-0 up away at Queen of the South. Scott Stewart on 13 minutes. Let's get to Willie Miller. He's at Dens Park. What's happening there now, Willie?
Yeah, it's all been about the home side. Aberdeen really struggling to make any impact in the game. Couple of strikes in goal. Simon Murray early on comes in on his right foot, drives it low. It's easily taken care of by Doohan, and then Josh Mulligan, really powerful run from Mulligan, coming in from the right hand side and striking it again. Good save from Doohan in goal. So Aberdeen have basically just been defending. They've not really been up the park. They haven't had any shots in goal, and at this moment in time they're still defending and having to defend in numbers.
Michael, what are your thoughts?
For Mulligan,
yep.
Strike it, pull the trigger. Oh, he's got to pull the trigger earlier. Josh Mulligan there getting a good chance just outside the box on his right foot. He's reluctant to have the strike at goal. He should have taken it. He should have taken the pot. I thought there was pretty much a good piece of room for him to get the drive in, and it was a great chance, but he just relinquished that responsibility, I'm afraid.
As soon as he took that first touch, Billy, on the edge of the box, I think, get the strike away.
Yeah.
Because even if he's getting shut down, you think to yourself, get the strike away.
It's a penalty.
Yes, Chick. Penalty for
Ayr United have a penalty kick. They've really been under the cosh for the opening spell of this game. There's a great run down the left, is it? Mark McKenzie goes on a run, cuts inside the box, brought down, and Ayr United will have the chance to go ahead in this game against Falkirk. They haven't really been in it, and here we have the chance to go ahead from the penalty spot.
Right, we'll stick with you, Chick. This is a big moment in the Championship. The top two facing off there. Could Livingston cash in today?
Jay Henderson with the penalty kick, Kenny.
Yep.
Right footed it's going to be. He's taking a while to get to it. He just takes his time, just runs his hands through his hair, calms himself down. Long run up to put Ayr United ahead against Falkirk in this vital game. It's been all Falkirk up to now. Henderson taking an age with his run up. Here he comes now. Oh, it's a great penalty. Ayr United ahead. Henderson the scorer from the penalty spot. It's Falkirk 0, Ayr United 1, and the travelling Ayr fans go crazy behind that goal.
Just get the feeling that, I mean, I didn't see it coming. I've got to say that the poor run of form that Falkirk are on. They're still a very good team, but you know, momentum is so big and so important in football, and you just get the sense that Ayr, they hit a wee sticky patch around about October, November, and they've come out of that and they are flying, and you just get a sense that they've got a real grit and determination about them, and this is a monumental game in the Championship.
They're conceding a lot of goals, Falkirk, from penalties and set pieces, and I know it's penalty that you don't go out to give away penalties, but there seems to have been a bit of a nervousness creeped in, and I don't know, Alan spoke about early in the season, you one defeat in 50. Have they lost a little bit of confidence, you wonder, in terms of that, being able to 1-0 up, 2-1 and just nobody will beat us? Are they all of a sudden get into this game, full house, 0-0, right, if we win this, are they thinking a bit more about defending and being a bit more rash with situations they've been dealing with really well for the best part of 2 years? I
just wondered last week, particularly with impact on his return to the club, if the Scott Arfield signing would be the key factor. You know, that may just get him over the line, Michael, but it's going to be tight all the way to the end, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and by the way, that may well play a big part. Well, it certainly did last week.
Yeah.
But that experience and just everything that Stephen's talking about there, it brings an element of calmness that I'm sure that's part of John McGlynn's thinking. You know, experienced head, somebody that's played at the top of the game, being able to just assure calm things down and bring a level of assuredness to the team. But this is a huge task they've got on the day, 1-0 down at home.
Second own goal of the game, Cove Rangers 1, Annan Athletic 1. Connor Scully with the own goal there on 15 minutes. Just to bring you up to date with what's happening down in the English Premier League. The lunchtime kick-off finished Leicester City 0, Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 0, Ipswich 0, Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 0. I think Man City have just gone ahead against Newcastle United, bringing that scorer shortly. Southampton 0, Bournemouth 2. What a season Bournemouth are having. West Ham United 0, Brentford 1. 5:30 start. Crystal Palace at home to Everton. Let's get back to Leanne Crichton. She's watching the game at Fir Park. Motherwell up against Ross County. What's happening there now, Leanne?
It's still goalless, Kenny, and if I'm being honest, a real lack of quality to both sides now. Motherwell started to put their foot in the ball, as I had mentioned when I last came in. Tony wanted that chance, it came back off the post. Luke Armstrong there, the ball just broke to him inside the penalty. He took a touch. I don't know if he was looking to try and see if he could kind of initiate a bit of contact inside the area, but he just got a heavy touch right out the pitch. Honestly, just such a, you can hear the groans round the stadium when it happened. Just a real lack of quality in the way both sides are moving the ball. County, when they've looked to build the ball out for the back, it's overhit passes that are too long. Just nothing really cutting edge, although Luke Armstrong looking to bundle his way through the County backline just now, but it's turned over again. A game that's very transitional, still 0-0. Dumbarton 1, Montrose 1. The equaliser there from Michael Ruth on 19 minutes. Marmouche has got the opener from Manchester City at home to Newcastle United. I'm just thinking, guys, maybe it's even worse as a youngster, I don't know, but see when you're coming back from injury like Lennon Miller is today, what's it like when you first go into the park for a competitive game? Do you find yourself a bit hesitant, a bit nervous, or just all that behind you, you're ready, you're prepared?
I always found the first game was the easiest, but I always felt like the high of being back on the pitch. It was more the kind of second, third. I don't know what Michael thinks, but it's just the buzz of being back. And I think there's a level of importance in Lennon Miller. I think he'll be made to feel like, because I know that from speaking to Andy Halliday the other night, how excited he was to be playing alongside him again. So yeah. I always found the first one, but the way the game's going, I think this is absolutely suiting what Ross County will be looking for. Playing against a leaderless manager. Let's make it stuffy, let's make it. Who cares what it looks like? Your away record isn't a great read, so let's go down there and make it horrible and try and nick the points.
On the injury front, dependent on what the injury was, you know, and sometimes you'll be rushing back to try to, help things out, and you'll know in your mind that I need to sort of nurse this through a little bit. But if you're back and you're fine, then as Stephen was talking about there, then you're actually buzzing to get back on the park. So a certain extent dependent on what the injury is.
Yeah, interesting few months ahead for Lennon Miller. What will develop for him come the summer transfer window? Let's get to Almond Vale. Livingston at home to Dunfermline. What's happening now, Alan?
I still no any chances, Kenny, really. It's been poor stuff here. We're halfway through this opening 45 minutes. Livingston have had more of the ball but created absolutely nothing, and it can be the same said with Dunfermline Athletic. Neither goalkeepers, just as I say, there's a free kick chip to the back. No, headed out. Stalemate here at Almond Vale so far. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a classic there. Dundee United holding out so far. Billy Dodds, what have you made of the Celtic performance? 5 changes made by Brendan Rodgers today. Yeah, Dundee United are so deep, and I'm sure you're looking at, as you said, the pictures coming in. They're making it really difficult. Celtic trying to force through passes. There's another one come in there from Hatate, trying to find McCowan. It was flicked on and he was offside. So they're a little bit frustrated just now. Just over 21 minutes gone, but there's still plenty of time. The one thing they're doing, though, it's that consistency, it's that speedy passing, it's keep on asking the questions. That's what they have to do. I mentioned to you about the stages of the game for Dundee United. That's exactly what they've done so far, Kenny. Still 0-0. Billy, when we were chatting earlier on about Celtic in Europe and all the space that Harry Kane got for that goal at the back post, I got a message from a footballer saying Billy Dodds was a specialist at that, finding room at the back post. What did you make of that situation, Billy? Was that just very clever play from Harry Kane, or did you point the finger at that Celtic defence? It was interesting listening to Mikey and Stephen talking about it, and the first 2 corners of the first half, Alistair Johnson he went and marked Harry Kane, and they were grappling for ages, and I thought, okay, he's definitely got him, but then he looks as if he planted on the 6-yard box. Here's McGregor, on cue, Kenny. I mean, he just takes the bull by the horns, he takes the ball, he drifts past a couple of men, and then he reverses it right in the bottom corner away to Walton's left. Celtic have the lead. It's Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. Yeah, the captain does it again. He's a special player, isn't he? What, did you get a chance to look at that finish?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, Dundee United, the first 2 games of the season have been all outfield players for Dundee United, pretty much in their own final third, and Celtic have passed round them, and Dundee United getting blocks in, but this is just the individual brilliance from Callum McGregor. As Billy says, he's grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, he's drifted into space, and it's just really, really close control. Dundee United players scared to foul him once he gets into that box, and just a really clever reverse finish past Walton.
Yeah, it was clever, wasn't it, Michael?
It's a brilliant goal because, as Stephen's touched on there, the fact that it's very tight, there's loads of bodies around him, great close control. Alan Campbell shutting him down, shifts it, sticks it through, I think, Gallagher's legs in the end. But sometimes that's just what's needed when there's such a packed defence. You get somebody that steps into the game and just eliminates a couple of players and has a strike on goal. Cal McGregor's done that on so many occasions now in this season, particularly on that inside right channel where, as it was playing out, and Billy Dawes was talking about there's a goal, I'm expecting it to be a bit more space and have a strike from distance. It's a wee bit different, but it just shows you the quality of Cal McGregor. And the other thing is he plays obviously in a deep line midfield role, but he recognised that he needed to get up on top of the game there. That's where that little pocket of space was. Alan Campbell started to close him slightly from behind in the side. Rather than turning out and keeping the ball, he just kept going at it into the edge of the box, and great finish. And it's exactly what Celtic need, because the longer the game goes on, as Billy was talking about, the more Dundee United grow in confidence and belief that their game plan is working.
Yeah, that opening goal coming on 23 minutes for Callum McGregor. Celtic 1, Dundee United 0. Queen of the South 0, Arbroath 2. Fraser Taylor with the second of the game there in 22 minutes. Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 0. Marmoush with his second of the game. Montrose are ahead away at Dunbarton, 2-1 the lead thanks to Owen Sturton with that goal. And Morton have equalised at home to Airdrie. Nathan Shaw on 25 minutes. Let's get back to
I just hear what Willie's saying. I'm just looking at the game at Dens, Willie, and the ball's played up the park just the last attack, and it was Murray and Tiffany 2v2 against the two centre halves. Now we've seen that in a few games for Aberdeen, and they've paid the price big time for that. Is that something that's been happening throughout this game, or is it just so happened that's that one incident? Because it's kamikaze stuff if you keep doing that.
That is it. The two fullbacks are further forward into midfield positions, and Tony Dock is when he had the three the last time I saw them. Adewumi played up there as well. He had the three, but two wide and one through the middle. But it's two up against the two centre backs, and that's the way it's staying. Chance here for Aberdeen. Keskin inside the box. The penalty area, drives it. It's a weak effort on his left foot. Drives it straight at McCracken and goal. But no, the answer to that, it doesn't change his formation. It doesn't change the formation. The only change that I've seen to the formation is sometimes the number 10 goes up and plays alongside the number 9 rather than playing in a deeper position. But it's the four at the back, the two full backs, and it doesn't matter which side it's on. If it's on the right hand side, the left full back's way up the park as well, and the two centre backs are left normally to take care of one, but this afternoon to take care of two.
That's fair enough, but you're not talking about a shift in formation. You think it's a tactical awareness of one of them, especially Nielsen, who can't run. You're thinking to yourself, you have to screen your two centre halves. You can't, especially somebody like Simon Murray who's got pace. You can't leave him 2v2. I mean, you've seen it in so many games in this run for Aberdeen where simple balls over the top and the defence are left floundering. And you've got to give them a bit of protection. And the centre halves, even if, for example, that's the basis of the way they're playing, they've still got to be communicating with their centre midfielders and saying, look, you need to step in, drop. You don't have to sit on top of the centre forward, but you've got to be in touching distance so you're giving a bit of cover.
It happens too often, Michael, for it not to be the tactic.
Yeah.
And I always think I played the very first time I ever played like that. Gareth Ainsworth played like that. We had the two fastest defenders in the league, and it was just we'll go man for man at halfway line. Something Ange Postecoglou did obviously at a much higher level with Starfelt and Cameron Carter-Vickers. You can't play at the halfway line with slow defenders, man for man. We watched it last year, Liam Scales against Theo Bair, until Cameron Carter-Vickers won that Motherwell Celtic game. Theo Bair won the race every time. I don't get the tactic either. As a midfielder, you want to stay and protect if the fullbacks are both bombing on, but it happens so often that it seems to be the tactic.
Raith Rovers have doubled their advantage against Partick Thistle. Finlay Pollock in 26 minutes, 2-0. Was it a chance there?
It was a chance for Dundee United. Glenn Middleton down the left hand side swung it in. And there's two runners. I think Dalby's one of them are following him at the back post, but it's Alan Campbell who gets a touch, and a bit of contact he probably scores, but a really good chance for Dundee United.
It was. I think he would have been marginally offside had it been in the back of the net. But yeah, good break from Dundee United.
Queen of the South 0, Arbroath 3. Matty Douglas with the third goal there inside the first half hour as an own goal of that game on 26 minutes. Queens 0, Arbroath 3. I gave you that scoreline. Part of Thistle, I don't know, it's a strange old season, seeing a fair bit of unhappiness among the Thistle fans. Wraith Rovers 2, Thistle 0, the second of the game for Finlay Pollock in that game. Let's get back to Fir Park. County holding firm there, Leanne.
Yeah, they're holding firm, Kenny. They've not had too much of the ball, I would need to say. Motherwell have been the side in the ascendancy, looking to try and create, but lacking quality, as I've mentioned, all over the pitch, to the point that I'm frustrated watching it, you know, and I'm not associated to either side. You just want a little bit more, especially for the spectators here. So not very, very little to report. It's going to be a short half-time report the way it's going, Kenny. 0-0.
Yes, go!
Goal Aberdeen.
Yes,
I think
Willie.
it's Kevin Nisbet at the back post, finds a little bit of space. It's a good cross from the left towards the back post. It's then headed down. It ricochets inside the box. It falls very kindly. And yeah, I think it is Kevin Nisbet. It is a little bit of problem seeing him. He's coming in. And actually Spence's sitting beside me and his pillar is right in front
Don't
of me.
ask him.
So eventually got it right. But Kevin Nisbet, he's showing that instinct and he finishes it into the roof of the net.
Well, I mean, we've only seen it from a sort of wide camera angle, but my initial reaction is the goalkeeper, John McCracken's got to do so much better. The ball comes round the back. I'm still not really seeing how he's deflected it into the path of Kevin Nisbet. I'm thinking he's got to, like, actually maybe it's down at his feet, and I think it maybe comes off his shins back.
A lot of space, Nisbet, didn't he?
Yeah, he's just reacted well. You know, he's the one that's reacted quicker than the defender at the back post.
Yep, he needs that, and the Dons certainly need that. Just seeing the pictures of the travelling support, Willie. Despite the issues, as ever, they're travelling in big numbers.
Yeah, huge numbers down here, and enjoying it, and obviously enjoying it with that goal. But up until that point, maybe not enjoying it, because you know Dundee have been the better side, 3 efforts in goal, and Aberdeen 0. So you know, getting that opportunity with Nisbet rifling it into the roof of the net. Obviously, they're at the other end of the park as well, but enjoying himself, and very loyal, supportive support this season. Travelling support's always been good. At home, you know, selling out in ordinary games is quite phenomenal up at Pittodrie, and they've done that the early part of the season, not so much recently, but the support have been magnificent, and they're enjoying themselves this afternoon with that goal going in.
Kenny, just before Willie obviously got that Aberdeen goal, it's McGregor, Celtic nearly had 2 and McGregor nearly had 2, similar, but the opposite foot this time. He drifts inside and curls a right footer, and Walton just got enough on it to get it away for a corner, but it was another brilliant run from McGregor.
I was just wanting to go back to
Taylor's second goal for Ayr United, Kenny. It's Oakley, well worked by Ayr to get forward. It's been, apart from the goal and the penalty, remember, Ayr 1-0 up. There's another scramble inside the box. That's out clear. Yeah, they worked it well, and Oakley just in a little mazy run, it just toe poked it. I thought it was sneaking in and just rolling in at the goalkeeper's left hand post, but Nicky Hollagard somehow got across, got a fingertip on it, just turned it round the post for a corner kick. Just a threat from Ayr United on the break. Then Falkirk will get caught. It's still 1-0 to the Bairns against Ayr United.
I was just wanting to talk about that goal again from a Dundee point of view. I think Michael's spot on. I think John McCracken, it's almost weird the ways. I think you've just got to go corner. He doesn't know what's happening on that side of the, he's so focused on the ball. I think he's just got to parry that bit for a corner. But when Tony Dock's making that decision about not playing Carson, he's making the goalkeeping change, that's the worst case scenario, because that's what your assistants, that's what your coaches will be saying. What if he makes a mistake in the game? Then what do you do?
Ross County.
Oh, right, Leanne.
Yeah, it comes against the run of play. They manage to just regain possession, a number of passes, put it together. Slight ricochet and deflection on the edge of the box, and it broke to Ronan Hale. Touch inside the box, and he smashes it beyond Ellery Balcom to give the visitors the advantage. It's Motherwell 0, Ross County 1.
He's been bright, as you said, that his awareness early on with the scoring for the halfway. I think it's Lennon Miller. He's went to intercept the pass. But Ronan Hale, he's bright. He's on the front, on his front, and it's a brilliant finish. And
should the goalkeeper do better?
We've not seen it back yet. No. But you shouldn't ever really lose a goal at that side.
But here we are.
It's just the right hand side. Stephen O'Donnell's getting caught. Yeah. I think he's got to get round quicker. Ronan Hale takes up a good position. The goalkeeper I mean, I see what you mean, Leanne, in terms of it's blasted at the near post and there's an acre of space, but I just think that the way that it's transpired and the way that it comes to him so quickly from Lennon Miller trying to, clear it. Yeah, maybe possibly, but to be honest, even if he's in a better position, I don't think it stops it anyway, because it's past him in a flash.
Alloa Athletic have gone 2-0 up at home to Kelty Hearts. Stephen Buchanan on 33 minutes. A hat-trick for Marmouche for Man City. 3-0 up against Newcastle United. Confirmation on that goal from Ronan Hale. Nice finish. 32 minutes. Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. So I'll give you the latest scores. Yes, Chick, was that a chance?
Oh yeah, Falkirk, another chance for Falkirk. They worked it well, back to front, down the right hand side. Little ball played in, there's a touch into the right back area, and it's a little ball knocked across, and it's Ethan Ross with a head, and he just gets it over the crossbar and no more. Holds his head in it with his hands. Just the disappointment of it all. Still Ayr United leading by that penalty goal to 0. Remember, it was scored by Henderson. Scott Mann was brought down. Still 1-0 to United.
What a strike from Sloopwick. I think you'll already have seen it. I just let Chick finish off there, but picks it up on the left hand side of the box. Wasn't really the angle he hit it. Hits a left foot strike right across Walton, away to his left. Absolutely smashes off the left post. Here's a chance. Oh, what a save, Walton. It's a brilliant pick out from Jota, and they've really found him loads in this game down the left, and his quality in the box is incredible. Ida meets it, heads it down, and somehow Walton gets it away with his feet from point blank range.
He looks sharp, Jota, again, doesn't he?
Very, and his confidence is obviously he's delighted to be back. But I've spoken before about how good and Dundee United are at defending their box, but the one thing I'm surprised at is that see the amount of times Jota's picked the ball up and they've given him like 10 yards of space.
Mikey, honestly, just to come in that, I was thinking, is Adebayo ever going to take part in the defending? What he's doing sometimes, not this one that's coming up, but he's been going narrow. Here's Jota, 2-0 on cue again, incredible, where he just gets the ball, drifts in. This time Adebayo does take the defensive duties, but he can't stop him, and he bends a beauty right into the far left corner of Walton's goal. But we'll touch on the defending a bit. It's a brilliant all-round goal from Jota.
There wasn't interference in front of the keeper, no, was that?
Yeah, but I don't think he was offside.
Right.
I think it was Luke McCowan who almost got a touch, but I don't think he was offside. But just to touch on that point, I mean, it's different because Jota cuts inside and he gets the strike away, but Adebayo, I mean, again, it's talking about how Dundee United, they can play 3 or they're playing a 4 at the back. Every time I've looked up, as Dodgy's spoken about, they're so narrow, but there's nobody that's anywhere near Jota. Now, if they're playing a 4, who's going to be playing in front of him? It's probably Stevenson, but none of them, or could be Fotheringham.
It's Fotheringham, but that's what I was going to say. It's incredible. So you'd be going off your head if you were the right back. Sorry, the winger, because what he's doing is they're getting that high up the pitch that they've decided, whether it's a ploy from Jim Goodwin saying, right, get my 4 defenders really narrow. Yep. If my winger can do it, he goes and defends the winger of Celtic, Jota. And I'm like, wow. It's incredible how narrow they've been going, but I feel sorry for Fotheringham. He's been left to pick up Jota at times and try to defend him, while the 4 biggies just get in the box and try to defend it.
The other one on that goal as well is that it highlights the significance of the full-back, this time it's Schlupp rather than Taylor, because he plays so narrow. It creates that space for Jota, which then I just think the difficulty is you don't want to leave a full-back 1v1, but it highlights the significance in the way that Celtic play the game so well to try and get those 1v1s in the wide areas. You've got to get tighter though. I just don't think you can give Jota space like that because he's just so good and he's so two-footed.
Yeah, that has been the difference. I said it's the exact same game plan. Dundee United are doing the exact same things from the 2 games where they've frustrated Celtic for long spells, but in both games it's been Maida and Yang on the wings. And in the game at Tannadice where Celtic, where Dundee United end up getting a 0-0, I don't know if you remember, Palmer finished the game and really struggled to make an impact in the game. But Jota, he's just a level above. You give him space, you try and go 1-for-1, he can go both ways. A minute ago, you show him on his left, he chips one, puts it on a plate for Adamida. You show him on his right, 2-0.
What does Jim Goodwin do? Is there something he should be changing tactically in terms of formation, Billy?
Just listen to the boys here again. I'm trying to get it in my mind where... is it because Maida, when he plays in the left, maybe hasn't got... Now, this is terrible to say this because he's been Celtic's best player this season. But
I know what you mean. And you're
the quality cross. I'm thinking, like, have they left him thinking it'll be maybe Maida playing and Jota, I don't know, they must have known Jota was playing, because Jota's quality at crossing. Maida, sometimes his final ball isn't the best, and I can only think that that's maybe why they've put the 4 defenders really narrow when Celtic get wide, and say, well, we'll give you the width, but we're going to try and defend narrow. But what they're doing is, when you do that, Jota can put it in a sixpence, can't he?
Yeah, but that's fine if you're going to narrow off, but it then means you have to have somebody that's in that wider area that's getting in contact with Jota, which also means you've got to have somebody narrow enough to pick up Sloop, who's playing in that inverted position. And
I feel, as I said to you, Mike, I'm not sorry for butting in, but I feel sorry for Florian, because he picked Sloop up that time you were talking about it, with a narrow run, and then the time before Adi Boyega's just backing off out the box and saying, you do Jota.
Yeah.
So he's getting an absolute doing in this right hand side, and it's not Fotheringham's fault.
The other thing that Jeffrey Sloop offers Celtic and Brendan Rodgers now is Greg Taylor quite often drifts into that kind of extra man in midfield, where Alistair Johnston more the underlaps or overlaps. Jeffrey Sloop's naturally a centre mid. He's a winger by trade, so the ball coming to him at the edge of the box, he is used to being in that position. The one before, an unbelievable effort off the post.
Yeah.
If that's Greg Taylor, maybe he's thinking about recycling.
Goal!
Yes,
it's in off the post. Ayr United are 2 ahead.
Whoa.
It was a break. They were 4 on 3. They could, if Falkirk were caught out at the back, it fell for Oakley. I think he played it off the post, and then it was turned into. It's turned into the net, I think, by Henderson at the second attempt. I'll confirm that in a moment. But in any case, it is definitely Ayr United 2, Falkirk 0.
Absolutely incredible there as things stand. Ayr United top of the table, 50 points. Falkirk 49, Livingston 46. Let's try and get back to Stephen Craig, and again apologies to fans of Kilmarnock and St John's for the real technical issues there. Stephen has been on the phone. Can you hear us now, Stephen? Give us an update.
I can indeed, Kenny, and I've got to say, since that first goal for Kilmarnock, they've completely bossed the game. In fact, a few minutes later, they should have been 2-0 up. Bobby Wales had a lovely little turn and snapshot, just fizzed past the post. Then Kyle McGuinness had a really good chance. Excellent play down the left-hand side. Fraser Murray laid off by Robbie Dees, and Kyle McGuinness, all he had to do was just relax and strike through the ball. He tried to put too much pace, ended up putting it over the crossbar, but St Johnstone have changed their shape. They've taken off Victor Griffiths, they've brought on Stephen McKenna-Duke, who was excellent last week with Kilmarnock against Hamilton, so they've got a little bit more of a foothold in the game. But Kilmarnock look a real threat, and the standout player on the pitch has been Fraser Murray. You only think 6-7 months ago he wasn't getting a game for Kilmarnock. Now he's absolutely pivotal to everything they do. His direct running, his pace, his energy down this left-hand side is causing Kilmarnock all sorts of trouble, but it's the home side that still lead by a goal to 0.
Right, let me give you some goal updates. Stirling Albion 0, 4-1. Russell McLean with the goal there. Just confirmation, that second goal from Jota. A nice finish. He cut and he's looked very, very lively today. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. Nottingham Forest have equalised with Fulham. Chris Wood, what a season he's having. That goal coming on 37 minutes. Dumbarton 2, Montrose 2. Carlo Pignatello with equaliser for the home side there. Peterhead 0, Clyde 1. Andy Murdoch on 38 minutes. Chick was bang on with that goal scorer. George Oakley with the second there. Falkirk 0, Ayr United 2. Oakley with that goal on 38 minutes. I'll just give you all the latest scores. Just it's been quite a frantic spell. So Celtic 2, Dundee United 0, Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. In the Championship, lots of goals today. Falkirk 0, Ayr United 2, Livingston 0, Dunfermline 0, Morton 1, Airdrie 1, Queen's Park 0, Hamilton Accies 2, Wraith Rovers 2, Partick Thistle 0. In League 1, Alloa Athletic 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Cove Rangers are 2-1 up at home to, just getting the score, my screen has just crashed there, so I'll bring you that just 1 second. But Cove Rangers were 2-1. Is that a chance elsewhere?
Kenny, intense pressure from Dundee, and Simon Murray on 2 occasions he has a swipe with his right foot. The first one misses the ball completely. It bounces out to the right hand side. The cross comes in. He tries to get his head on it and misses it completely. Again, 2 big opportunities for the striker there to get himself back in the game. But a good little spell for Dundee. They're piling the pressure on Aberdeen. The fans are certainly liking it now, and you know they're constantly taking the ball, cutting it. And there's loads of bodies in there. It's just that old word, it's a major stramash in there just now. Another ball into the cross. Surely McGee. It's deflected by the post. McGee, as it falls to him, he takes it in the half volley, and somehow he manages to put it by the post after so many opportunities for Dundee to get the equaliser there, but nothing just really falling for them, just out of reach for Simon Murray on 2 occasions as well. But Dundee getting himself back in the game, but it's still 1-0 Aberdeen.
It's unbelievable the amount of space.
3-0 to United. It was a bad mistake by Falkirk. They gave it away at the back. George Aitley couldn't believe his luck. It was passed straight to him. And for me, he could have taken it into the box a little bit. He chose to drive it from round about 18 yards, just put it beyond the post. They're just giving it away, Falkirk. They're all over the place now. They started well, but they really do look shell-shocked. At the moment, it's Falkirk 0, Ayr United 2.
Well, you've just had a look back at the Jordan McGee chance. He has to do better, but it's amazing the amount of bodies Aberdeen have got in the box, and he's got that much space. I mean, he felt as if he had time even to take a touch, even with Aberdeen's full team being in the penalty box.
Yeah, a lot of bodies back. It was just, you know, about throwing the bodies, but nobody really taking responsibility of marking players, because Simon Murray had 2 good chances as well. The one that he's had the swipe at, I think the ball's spinning as it comes off the ground, and he misses it completely, and then he's almost in the end of the cross, you know, when it goes out to the right hand side. And then McGee, I think he should do better. He's caught it in the half volley, might have had time to take a touch. It was all, you know, pretty much happening very quickly, and there was just 2, 3, 4 opportunities for Dundee to find the back of the net, and they couldn't take it.
Yeah, just my computer crashed there when I was going through the scores. I think I get into League One, so we're back up and running now. So it was Alloa 2, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 2, Annan Athletic 1, Dumbarton 2, Montrose 2, Queen of the South 0, Arbroath 3. And in League 2, East Fife 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Peterhead 1, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 1, Forfar Athletic 1, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 0. Let's get back to Leanne Crichton then at Fir Park. Any reaction at all, Leanne, from the home side?
No, not really, Kenny. They've been searching a couple and a half glimpses. Armstrong had an opportunity, found himself in the box. Lennon Miller just a moment or so ago made a really nice run. Stephen O'Donnell was searching for him, just that longer ball shaped down the right hand channel. Took a good touch inside the box, but just lost his balance and kind of skied the ball over the bar wide of the goal. They're searching, but nothing really cutting edge. It's going to be the difference this afternoon. You can see a bit of frustration. Tony Watt just now giving Stephen O'Donnell a little bit. The consistency, the delivery from Dom Thompson in the left hand side for Motherwell has been so poor, beyond belief. County, they're just soaking it up, but I think they're enjoying, you know, they're a decent team without the ball. They've got a good structure about them. They're forcing Motherwell into making the odd mistake. And Noah Chilvers for me has been a standout for County as well this afternoon. Really bright, really lively in possession. Dropped a shoulder a minute or so ago. Stephen O'Donnell, literally his legs collapsed beneath him. He just left him for dead. He's been really good. So no, Don Cowie is going to be much more pleased getting in at half time with his side and the advantage that they've got. And Stevie Frail's going to need a bit more from this Motherwell side if they're going to get themselves back in the game. Still County with the advantage.
Liam, would you expect to see Masmanisi at half time? They really, because as you say, they look really one-dimensional here.
They need something, Stephen. They really do. I was surprised that he didn't start this afternoon. I know Armstrong scored in the last out, and I think that's why he's kind of been given.
Score! Oh my goodness me!
Yes, Chuck.
Falkirk have got themselves back into it. I think it's called Donaldson with the header, corner kick right hand side. 2 or 3 players went up with him. Sure, it was called Donaldson with the header, gets over the line. The goalkeeper nearly produced an unbelievable save, Harry Stone, but all he could do was push onto the post and into the net. It is Falkirk 1, Ayr United 2. What a game!
Kenny, half time to Dens, it's Aberdeen 1, Dundee 0.
Thanks to Willie.
Indeed, what a game at
half time as well, Kenny, from Parkhead. It's Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Thanks, Dodge. I mean, Chick was there last week for the game at Park Thistle. That game had everything. Today, that's given, and it's very much game on now.
You know, the thing was, see, when it went to Chick, I thought I was hearing boos, and I was thinking, oh my God, they've gone 3-0, but it's 2-1. I mean, that is, sets up the second half brilliant.
Yeah, Scott Brown will be livid with that one. Let's get to
it. Was Liam Henderson with the goal, actually. Yeah.
See, touching on the Masmanisi thing, and I brought this up a couple of weeks ago, and Craggs was mentioning how he was very fatigued at the game. I think there's a midweek game previous, but I just think he is such a threat.
Absolutely.
Every time he's in the game for Motherwell, it just brings a different dynamic. It's not just Motherwell, it'd be any side that he plays for. And I think he's got real quality as well. I don't think he's just like a speedster that his end product's not particularly great. I really think Masmanisi is a good player.
The majority of the play this afternoon, Michael,
both teams doing well to get nil.
Thanks, Alan. Yes, Leanne.
It's Tony Watt. He's kind of dropping into that pocket. Motherwell are just looking for that up, back and through, but when it goes up and it comes back and through, they've got nothing really beyond that. And as much as Armstrong's trying this afternoon, I just don't think he offers you and gives you that same outlet that Masmanisi does. So anyway, half time at Fir Park, Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. You can hear the boos.
Absolutely, we can hear that. They badly need a new man in charge. We're told that could happen as soon as Monday. Stirling Albion's equaliser at home. The fourth came from Jack Hartness on 43 minutes. That goal right in the stroke of half time.
Half time at Falkirk Stadium.
Yeah.
Half time, Falkirk 1 here too.
Yeah, thanks to Chick. Just confirming what Chick told us. Liam Henderson with that goal on 45 minutes. He's 5-0. Bonnyrigg Rose 1. Cameron Ross in first half stoppage time there. So that's you right up to date with all the latest scores. Are you still playing down there at Rugby Park, Stephen Craigan?
Indeed, Kenny. There's 1 minute left, 1 minute of added time left. But Kilmarnock had been so much better in this first half than what St Johnstone had. So Simo Valakai's going to have to either mix something up at half time or make some sort of substitutions, because at this stage the game's drifting away from them.
Marley Watkins just hit the crossbar not long ago, Craigs, wasn't it? Close to making it 2.
He did, Michael, and once again, I said him the last time I was on, Fraser Murray, he's been absolutely terrific.
Good delivery.
Really has. His running power, he's got past Dre Wright. He took the ball off Dre Wright earlier on, who was trying to let the ball run out for a throw, and he dragged him back, and it's now been booked. So every time Fraser Murray gets the ball, he just knocks it past him. He hasn't for pace, and you're right, the cross from his left foot has been absolutely delightful, but Marley Watkins unfortunately put it off the crossbar. And there's half time now, Kenny, 1-0.
Yeah, thanks to Stephen Craig. Just apologies again for fans of both these clubs. Stephen obviously is on a mobile phone there. I know with myself and personal experience, it's a nightmare when you're doing a game under these circumstances. So we're not hearing Stephen for all the chances, but the guys have got the pictures in here in the studio, and of course we'll go to Stephen for any major incidents in that game. So stay tuned, plenty more to come on Sports Sound. We will bring you all the half-time reports.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Let's then take a journey around the grounds. Our commentary match this afternoon comes from Celtic Park. Celtic at home to Dundee United. Let's hear from our commentary team, Pat Nevin and Liam McLeod.
It's a stroll for Celtic right now, 2-0 up at the break against Dundee United, who are faced with this challenge of trying to score at least twice in the second half of this game against a team that's only conceded twice at home in the league this season. And it's goals from Callum McGregor and Jota to have the champions in front. McGregor's goal's excellent, and they were struggling to break through the Tangerine and Black rear guard. Dundee United set up with a 4-4-2, but they'd surrendered so much possession. At one point it was touching 90% in Celtic's favour, but they couldn't really test Jack Walton. Not until Callum McGregor danced into the box and fired a left foot shot into the bottom right. It's outstanding from the captain, who's really found his goal scoring touch this season. That's his 8th of the campaign. Jota's one arrived, and it was even better, darting in from the left hand touchline into the box. It was vintage Jota as he found the bottom right reverse corner with an outstanding right footed finish. Jeffrey Schlupp hit the post. Jack Walton saved brilliantly, point blank from Adam Ida, as well as Celtic threatened to run amok. United have threatened fleetingly. They've been up the pitch once or twice. Glenn Middleton just before the break turned a superb ball across between the goalkeeper and the defender. Sam Dolby had laid it off to him, so was in the wrong place to get back on the end of it. And Kasper Schmeichel saving from Alan Campbell. A couple of times Campbell hit one from the edge of the box. Didn't really have the belief in the effort. It was a comfortable save. Schmeichel's other one he flopped down onto as Campbell stretched and tried to get something on the low ball from the left, but couldn't turn it home. And Pat Nevin, it's a fairly simple, normal afternoon for the champions at home, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, do you know that I think there's gears to come from Celtic if they want to, even in this game. It's 2-0. It could easily have been 4. And you wouldn't have been surprised, you wouldn't have raised your eyebrows, and you'd almost say it was deserved as well. Dundee United are working hard. That's perfectly fine. They've put a couple of half chances, just half chances, not much more than that. But as you say, if you've got almost 90% of the possession at one point and then drops to only 81% after that, against quality players, you're going to give up chances. Jota is a class act.
You've loved watching him today, haven't you?
Goodness, it's brilliant to see him come back. We know how good he is anyway, but he's never lacked confidence, let's be fair. But right now, there is such a beautiful arrogance on the ball. Beginning to get a bit of an understanding with Slip behind him. Slip's a special player. And when he gets himself fully fit, with his underlaps that he uses, Celtic do that, Brendan loves to do that, happens a lot on the right-hand side, we know that anyway. But he's got something extra as well. So you were mentioning just beforehand that transfer window, losing Kyogo is a big thing. Well, let's be honest about it. You brought in some quality players here who actually might make it a better unit.
Celtic eyeing up a 16-point lead at the top of the Premiership. They are halfway to doing so. Half-time here, Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Previously in the Champions League playoff round.
Celtic Park is rocking right now. Celtic 1, Bayern Munich 2.
Now Celtic face Bayern Munich in the second leg live from Germany.
Another very special night in Europe.
Celtic give themselves a fighting chance going across to Munich.
European football lives here.
Corner's not entirely dealt with. It is in!
Celtic in the Champions League. Tuesday from 6 on digital radio or by asking your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
Yeah, we brought you all the European action on sports and another huge game to come. 6 o'clock, join us on Tuesday evening. Domestic action to the 4 this afternoon. Let's get to Dens Park. Dundee at home to Aberdeen and hear from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, half-time here at Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1. But the first 30 minutes belonged to the home side. They had 3 really good efforts. Simon Murray with the first one, just didn't get enough power on it. Low, and it was easily saved by Doan. He should have done better. Josh Mulligan had another strike as well. Again, he's just feeling a great position, just in the edge of the box. He's got to make a better effort of it, and it's easily taken care of by Doan. And then Larkesh down the left-hand side cuts in. It's a tight angle. He strikes it. Looks as though it's going goalward, but it hits the side netting. And then in 29 minutes, Aberdeen, against the run of play, take the lead. It's a corner kick from the left-hand side that comes over. It's Keskinen that takes the strike. McCracken goes down. He just parries it out to Kevin Nisbet, who finds himself in the perfect position to take advantage of it as he blasts it into the roof of the net to give Aberdeen the lead. Ockles had a chance pretty quickly after that, coming in from the left-hand side. And onto his right foot, he strikes it. It's a decent strike. It's to the right-hand side of McCracken, but McCracken makes an equally good save to keep it out. And then just before half-time, Dundee have a real push on. They have a number of opportunities, 2 best, all in the space of 30 seconds, where Simon Murray has a swipe at it. I thought he should have had made contact at the very least in his defence. Perhaps it was spinning off the ground, and then it goes out to the right hand side. The cross comes in. He's desperate to try and get his head on it, but he just can't make it. And then it falls to Jordan McGee, who takes it on the half volley and really should be hitting the target. In fact, should have been the equaliser, puts it past the post. So at half time here, the Dons are in front by 1-0 against Dundee.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Let's then get to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to St Johnstone and hear from Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, indeed, Kenny, it's a home lead back. Garrett McInnes will be wondering how it's only 1-0. The only goal of the game came after 9 minutes. It was really poor. Goal played by Andy Fisher. He rolled a straight ball into Polworth had read the situation. He tried to turn blind. Polworth nicked off Mac. The 1-2 with Bobby Wales. He then gets through one-on-one with Fisher. Had a lovely, delicate little finish. Just lifted the ball over Fisher. At that stage, Kilmarnock, you could tell the body language had changed. They were enjoying playing after having a 2-week break. They should have made it 2-0. Bobby Wales had a lovely little turn and snapshot inside the 18-yard box, but it just fizzed wide. Kyle McGuinness, he then had a chance after Robbie D set him up inside the 18-yard box. Couldn't shoot the shot down, just went over the crossbar. Almost right on hand.
Right, apologies.
Crossbar after a really good play once again down the left-hand side by Fraser Murray. For St John's, they haven't really carried much of a threat at all. Sam Curtis and Mackenzie Kirk have both had shots. They've got work to do, but Derek McInnes will hope they can get the second goal very quickly after half-time to try and take this game away from St Johnstone. It's the visitors with work to do, so it's half-time here at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0.
Thanks to Stephen Craig, and we just about got that there again. Apologies for the quality on that line. Let's get to Fir Park. Motherwell up against Ross County. The half-time report comes from Leanne Crichton.
Thanks, Kenny. It's Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. And if football games were decided on possession, Motherwell, they would have been out of sight in the opening 30 minutes. But as for quality and goal-mouth action, there had been very little to report. Tony Watt, he did have an early chance. He brought a long ball out there. He got the better of Lipata and swivelled with a left foot shot, but his effort came back off the post and into the arms of Amisa and the County goal. County, they were happy enough. They were soaking up the pressure and looked for the most part comfortable out of possession. Their patience and perseverance eventually paid off. 32 minutes was on the clock and Ronan Hale found the opener. A defensive lapse in the edge of the Motherwell box, saw the ball break for Hale just inside the penalty area, and he made no mistake and smashed the ball beyond Ellery Balcombe to give the visitors the advantage. 39 minutes and Motherwell looked to find a leveller. Nice combination play down the right hand side. O'Donnell found Watt, who reversed the delivery for Armstrong. He took a magical first touch inside the box, but he just couldn't get his shot on target from 8 yards out. As the half-time whistle blew, you heard the frustration and the boos rang around Fir Park. A big second half coming up for both of these sides. Half-time, it's Motherwell 0, Ross County 1.
So the half-time scores in the Scottish Premiership: Celtic 2, Dundee United 0, Dundee 0, Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 0, Ross County 1. Let's get into the Championship. First stop, Amon Vale, Livingston at home to Dunfermline. Let's hear from Alan Preston.
Well, it's not been a great first half, Kenny. It's goalless at half-time. Dunfermline have yet to register a shot on target. Livingston have only had 2. First one came in 26 minutes where it was played up the right-hand side. Muirhead cuts inside on his left foot, but his shot was straight at the keeper. Then from a short corner, Fraser then had an effort. Again, the keeper managed to save it. Dunfermline defending resolutely, got to show more going forward. Livingston with that result at Falkirk can close the gap on Falkirk if they can get a victory here. The half-time score, Livingston 0, Dunfermline Athletic 0.
Thanks to Alan Preston. A few problems with the line with Chick now. It's a great game he's enjoying, but the score there is Falkirk 1, Ayr United 2 and Livingston 0, Dunfermline 0. As Alan Preston was telling us, Morton 1, Airdrie 1, Queen's Park 0, Hamilton Accies 2, Wraith Rovers 2, Partick Thistle 0. In League 1, Alloa Athletic 2, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 2, Annan Athletic 1, Dumbarton 2, Montrose 2, Queen of the South 0, Arbroath 3. In League 2, East Fife 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Peterhead 1, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 1, Forfar Athletic 1, Stranraer 0, Elgin City 0. And in England, the lunchtime kickoff finish: Leicester City 0, Arsenal 2. Half-time, Aston Villa 0, Ipswich 0. Ipswich down to 10 men. Fulham 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester City 3, Newcastle United 0, Southampton 0, Bournemouth 2, West Ham United 0, Brentford 1. 5:30 kickoff. Crystal Palace are at home to Everton. A reminder, we're on the telly today, BBC One, from 4:15 until 5:30. From 5:30, all the reaction from the games. That'll come from the managers or the pundits and the return of the fans today. I'm sure they will have plenty to say. Willie Miller, first up today, is an Aberdeen fan. He'll be delighted, I'm sure, with the scoreline, but again, some concerns over the performance there. It sounds like Dundee have had plenty of chances.
They have had plenty of chances in that first 30 minutes, Kenny, and also towards half-time, and it's been kind of just defending by good fortune, perhaps, I would suggest. A lot of bodies Aberdeen had in the box, and Dundee not having the quality or, the right player in the right time, and then that chance for McGee too, when he puts it by the post, when really, it's looking like a goal-scoring opportunity. So there is concerns. It's not a great quality of game. It keeps your interest, the game. It's fast. It's from end to end. The ball is being delivered very swiftly from back to front. Not great quality, from either team in the final third, and that's what it's lacking. Mockles had a really good chance, but lacked quality in the finish. Nisbet just being in the right place at the right time. Hey, it's a great habit to have if you're a striker. He needs to find it. He needs to be more regular. First half could have went either way. Dundee had taken their chances and Aberdeen would have struggled, but they've taken the chance. It's fallen. And at this moment in time, Jimmy Tillene's a happier manager.
Yeah, we'll see how the second half unfolds. A choice of listening once again on Sports Sound for Commercial. Celtic against Dundee United, tuned to digital 810 medium wave and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For open all mics, tuned to BBC Radio Scotland on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds. And you can follow all the action live online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
That's golden goal!
Absolutely tremendous.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Michael Stewart and Stephen McGinn alongside me here in the studio. We're covering 6 games for you this afternoon. Slight technical issues at the game at Rugby Park, and also now, unfortunately, the game between Falkirk and Ayr United. But Chick, I think we have resolved them. Are you there, Chick?
Yeah, there's nothing I can't do, Ken. You know that. I sorted it. You know my technological wisdom.
Of course.
Anyway, game is second half has started. There's been a change at half time.
Yes, Chick.
Barney Stewart has come on for Gary Oliver for Falkirk. Remember, they're trailing by 2-1. Ayr United ahead after just 16 minutes. Penalty from Jay Henderson after Scott McMahon was downed in the box. George Oakley made it 2-0 for the visiting side before, just on the very threshold of half-time, Lee Henderson with a towering header, caught on the right-hand side. He got up there and knocked it beyond Harry Stone to give a bit of life towards Falkirk. It's 2-1 to the visitors at the moment. Excellent game, sell-out crowd inside the Falkirk Stadium again, and the second half has got that, well, first of all, it's underway, and it's got that anything can happen feel about it. Here's a mistake in the back. Falkirk under pressure, they just about get that away. Almost a absolute blunder there. They've cleared it, Kenny. It's 2-1 to Ayr United at the moment.
Yeah, Chick, just talking about sell-out crowd, I was looking online. Am I right in saying that the stand behind the goal, which is usually there exclusively for the away fans, that's now split? There's so much demand from the home support.
Yes, so what they've done is given slightly over half of it to the visiting Ayr United support. Then has a space with empty seats to separate the fans, and the Bairns, the home support, have spilled into that stand as well. And of course the Kevin McAllister stand, the Crunchy stand at the other end, absolutely full to capacity with Ayr United fans, and indeed the main stand where I'm sitting at the moment. Of course, that wilderness over there. Yes. I mean, just if they could build this other stand in this stadium, what a ground it would be.
Chick, I know you said defensive error, but that's 3 games in a row in the league already. Falkirk conceded 2 goals. Now we're in the penultimate round of the fixtures.
I looking at Michael there. Yeah, well done, Stephen.
You're not going to win the league in such a tight race. It will shatter their confidence, conceding goals like that and having to score 3 and 4 games to win these tight games at the business end of the season.
What are you putting that down to? On you go, Chick.
I mean, no, sorry, the sound keeps breaking up. I think I've got what Stephen said there. Yeah, I mean, but they're such an exciting team, such an exciting league. You just feel there could be goals. There'll be more goals in this game, and it's still. I take your point, Stephen, but it still has the feeling of anything could happen in these games. And I've seen a lot of the Championship this season. I've seen a lot of Falkirk and Ayr United. There was a 5-2 game down at Somerset. You mean anything could happen?
But does it feel like that in the Livingston games, Chick? Do you know what I mean? I've been toe-to-toe with Livingston when David Martindale wasn't the manager, it was David Hopkins, but it was a big part of what they were doing, and you felt there was a real steel to them. They ended up, we won the league. They went on to beat Partick Thistle and get promoted to Premier League, but you felt in the run-out they really honed in. They weren't giving anything away.
Yeah, well, speaking of Livingston, Alan Preston.
That's the first effort goal for Dunfermline. Really good play down the right hand side. The ball squared to David Witherspoon about 10 yards out. There's good contact with the right foot. Great save by the keeper, Pryor. Really good. First effort goal for Dunfermline. Hopefully it livens it up. 0-0 still here at Armanville.
Yeah, that game can only get better. It's been a really good game, certainly from a Celtic perspective at Celtic Park there. Jota back to his brilliant best today, Billy Dodds.
Yeah, he has. He's posed Dundee United all sorts of problems, because when you set up like Dundee United have, like a 4-4-2, but it's a deep line one, no space, hard to break through. Then you need somebody like Jota who's going to just keep on chipping away, crossing away, and that's exactly what he did. And then he scored a brilliant goal as well. So you need some quality when it's in tight areas. Jota has produced that so far. Still 2-0 Celtic though.
Bill, I know a lot's dependent on the players that you have, but I think back to that terrific performance Inverness Carry Thistle had against Ange Postecoglou's Celtic in the Scottish Cup final. As a manager, what's your best way of setting up against Celtic? How did you prefer to do it?
That was just in a one-off game, Kenny. I felt McGregor just controls everything, and you're right to talk about it today because McGregor scored the goal, but I just man-marked him and put my two strikers to do the full-backs, but I couldn't get out either. Celtic still find ways. We just were pinned back the full game practically, managed to nick a goal and made them think about it, but I just man-marked McGregor and put my two strikers. They just did the full-backs and left the two centre-halves on the ball, so it worked to an extent.
Yeah, it did. It was a good performance that day. Just a little bit of a late challenge there, wasn't it?
Yes, sore one for Jota. Looks a bit of a dead leg. I was just wondering if Billy has the opposite tactics in the semi-final. He just left me on it.
Stephen, you were a top player, but you said that your legs at some point in your career just went like the rest of us, son. We had more of the ball that day, Stephen, so
that was a good one, and Billy very kind there, I have to say. Stirling Albion 2, Forth Athletic 1. Robbie McNabb with a goal on 47 minutes. Let's get back to Willie Miller. Dens Park, Aberdeen with a narrow advantage there. What's happening at the start of the second period, Willie?
Yeah, it's the pattern that it's taking the same pattern as the first half, to be perfectly honest. It's fast and furious. You know, I wish at times, you know, some of the players would just put their foot in the ball and think about the game. There's not enough a lot of thought going on out there. Everything's done too quickly, in particular in the final third. You know, and crosses being whipped across the face with no real reason, and not picking out a player, and that's at both ends. So it's gone from one end to the other. Aberdeen still in the lead, 1-0 of course. But you know, Dundee are not out of this. They've had enough chances in the first half, and they still look, you know, pretty fresh in the second and willing to commit bodies forward to create more opportunities for themselves. So although Aberdeen have got the upper hand just now, I wouldn't predict that it's going to stay that way.
Kenny spoke about it at half time in terms of
what a strike! Absolutely magnificent.
Yes,
unbelievable for Aberdeen. Kopi Keskinen from what, 25 plus yards with the right foot, looks up, picks his spot, puts it with a little bit of girdle on it, right into the top left-hand corner of the Dundee goal. That was something special. I've waited a long time for that.
What a goal.
We heard.
I was worried there.
Do you know what? Sometimes, honestly, you shouldn't say it, but I was about to ask Willie. I was going to say a lot of these Aberdeen players have been disappointing. We saw that chance for Keskin in the first half. I was going to ask Willie, is he one of the biggest disappointments, given the talent that he has? Thank goodness I didn't ask him, but that was a fantastic finish, wasn't it?
I don't know what you think, Willie, but see, for me, and I've seen Keskinen getting a wee bit of stick. I thought when he first came, very good, end product, direct. He's taken a dip, but he's young. He's played a full season before he came. It's inevitable that he's going to have a dip for me. It's a great goal. So, one, I don't know what your thoughts on that, Willie, are. And the second thing I was going to say was, Kenny was talking about, you know, concerns about Aberdeen's performance in the first half. Of course you want to have a good performance in the second half to make sure you get the victory, but the only thing that matters just now is 3 points for Aberdeen.
Yeah.
The performance level doesn't matter to a great extent, because get the results, the confidence will start to grow again.
Yep, absolutely. I think the Keskinen, it's Palmer Holden, it is for Dundee. It's 2-1. Good cross into the box. Down the right hand side of the pitch. I think it is Mulligan, is it, that puts the cross in. Palmer Holden, who came on at half time, gets himself in the right position just to tap it into the back of the net. So
where's the defence?
Back in it.
That's dreadful defending, isn't it?
I'll wait to see the replay.
Right. Michael, when you see the replay, talk us through, because as Willie said, that old stand in Dundee, as much as we love it, it's not the best vantage point there. So,
well, just seeing it unfold in real time, instinctively, I'm just thinking, where is the defence? I mean, the ball's, you know, gets cleared, it goes back in.
Good cross in, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
It's one of these crosses, Michael, that's just into an area, isn't it? Well, just put it into an area and invite your striker to go and attack it.
Well, I tell you what it is, and I'm presuming it is Jensen, who's obviously at right back. He just watches him.
Yeah.
Just watches him going into the dangerous area. And I'm thinking he must just be caught ball watching. Even if you're looking in that direction, it's over on the Dundee's right, so over on Aberdeen's left-hand side. You can see the ball. You've got to be aware of who it is that's like, he's only a yard away from him, steps right in front of him and scores a goal.
Tobers leaves it because he doesn't know Palmer Holding's coming, and that's where Michael's talking about the communication. He's got to be screaming for him. He's got to go away. You've got to get rid of it. You can't. Tobers lets it bounce, and next minute's in your net.
Terrible defending.
Yeah, I mean, for a few seconds it looked potentially game over there, but it's very much game on there. This will be a test of the confidence of these Aberdeen players. Yeah,
the Falkirk fans are going absolute bananas here. They've had two, as they see it, penalties claims denied. I have to say, I think the referee was correct, Stevie McLean, on both occasions, but they're claiming for anything, of course. It's home crowd. The referee just waved the play on both occasions. I think he was absolutely right, but there won't be a Falkirk fan in this stadium who will agree with me. Still 2-1 to Ayr United.
Dodgy.
Some needle in this game, is that what you're coming to?
Yeah, but also, why is Nick Walsh stopping that game?
I couldn't believe it.
It's great play.
I know 1-2 McCowan with McGregor. Savel's taking him, McCowan right out, and
But McGregor's driving through the middle of the park.
He was probably 20 yards away from the incident. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was poor.
He's not
from Nick Walsh.
He's not had a great few weeks, you'd have to say, Nick Walsh. So we're about to go on BBC One, and then we'll go around the grounds. We'll bring you the latest scores. The radio's on until 7 o'clock this evening on BBC One until 5:30. So plenty more to bring you on Sports Sound this afternoon. Welcome to viewers who have joined us on BBC One. It's another busy old day in Scottish football. No shortage of goals, drama and action. Let's take you on a journey around the grounds. First stop, Celtic Park. Celtic at home to Dundee United. There for us, Billy Dodds.
Yeah, and it's Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. They're pretty comfortable. It took them 23 minutes to get the breakthrough rope when Callum McGregor played the captain's role, picked up the ball, drove forward and reversed a shot into the bottom corner. They had a few more chances, but Jota, who's been playing really well, looks really sharp again, made it 2-0 15 minutes before half time, and he just cut in and curled a shot into the far corner. And since then it's been a one-way street for Celtic. They have had a few chances. Dundee United have broken sporadically, had a couple themselves, but Celtic comfortable so far in the match. They lead Dundee United by 2-0, Kenny.
Stephen McGinn and Michael Stewart alongside me in the studio. Before we go around the other grounds, Michael, you're watching all the games coming in here. Jota has been fantastic, as Billy was saying there, for Celtic. From a Dundee United perspective, some really poor defending in that first half.
Yeah, not particularly great, but we've spoken already about how they are confident and how well they've done defending their box at times, but the big standout was that they've just allowed Jota far too much space. And Stephen made a good point in the first half talking about the difference with a Maeda or a Yang out there. With the greatest respect to them, they've not got that technical quality that Jota's got. And as much as you might defend your box well, if you give Jota that space, he'll pick somebody out, or he'll find a hole and he'll do something, score a goal as he did, or he'll set something up as he set up for Ida to have a chance on a header on goal. You've got to get touch tight to him.
Next up, Dens Park, Dundee at home to Aberdeen. Let's hear the latest from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, it's Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2, and the first 30 minutes it was all about the home side creating 2-3 good opportunities, but Kevin Nisbet broke the deadlock in 29 minutes when Keskinen did the strike. It was parried out, and there was Kevin Nisbet in the perfect position to drill it high into the roof of the net, into the second half, and Toffee Keskinen, 52 minutes. What a strike this is with the right foot. It's magnificent. He looks up, you can see him looking up, and he hits it with a slight curl in it. It goes into the top left-hand corner of the Dundee goal. And you think at that stage then Aberdeen are going to go on and take control of this game. But
right, well, we'll come back to it. It's Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2. Goals are flying in. First up, Fir Park, Leanne Crichton.
Yeah, it's a second for the visitors. Ross County have doubled their advantage, and you can hear the boos ringing round Fir Park again. it's a sucker punch for the Fir Park side. They've dominated possession, Motherwell. I mean, if games were decided in possession, Motherwell would be way out in front, but this comes, they've been dispossessed. It was Dom Thompson that gave away possession. The Motherwell defence literally parted like the Red Sea. The ball was slipped through. Ronan Hale through and goal, touch and finish. 2-0 Ross County, and the Motherwell fans are absolutely furious. Stevie Frail, he must look to his bench. He's not made a change at all in this game so far. Maswanisi's on the bench. They need something up top. But as for Don Kivy and his Ross County side, we know how poor their away form has been this season. But this afternoon, it's all going their way. It's Motherwell 0, Ross County 2.
Yeah, they were booed off the home side at half-time. Fantastic from Ross County. The goals are flying in. Apologies if you're joining us on television. We've had technical issues at Rugby Park this afternoon. Kilmarnock at home to St Johnstone. Let's get the latest on the telephone line from Stephen Craigan.
Well, Kenny, it was 1-0 to the home side up until about 2 minutes ago. The first goal came in the first half from Liam Polworth after a terrific finish after he nicked the ball off Elliot Watt at midfield. But a second goal has went in. I was waxing lyrical at half-time about the performance of Fraser Murray, so it's no coincidence he scored a terrific free kick from 25 yards. Give Andy Fisher absolutely no chance. Kilmarnock should be further ahead, but they're 2 ahead at the minute. They're buoyant, the fans are with them, they really dominate in this game. So it's Kilmarnock 2, St Johnstone 0.
Thanks to Stephen Craigan.
Those 2 goals, I mean, I don't know what Stephen thinks, but just having seen one quick replay, the Fraser Murray free kick, I'm just looking at the wall and thinking, is there enough in it? Because it goes, I mean, it's a great goal, by the way, but it looked a little bit easy, and it's into a huge, obviously the goalkeeper's over the other side of the goal. The wall's trying to defend that part of it. Fraser Murray's put it around the wall, but it's not exactly right into the corner. I just wonder whether there could have and should have been another player in the wall there. And then for Ross County, it's the same as what happened with the first one. You've got Stephen O'Donnell, who's high up the park, and he's not quick enough in getting round, and there's that quick turnover inside left channel where Ronan Hale was, and to be fair to Ronan Hale, he stuck it away really well. It's a smart finish.
Yeah, we said earlier in the programme we expect Motherwell to make an appointment on Monday. We're told foreign manager coming in there. We don't have a name for you yet. Stephen McGinn watching that game that Stephen Craigan is at Rugby Park. Killie are so dominant in that game. We've spoken a lot about St Johnstone. You were critical a few weeks ago about the style of play, very, very open, much better in recent weeks. 2 wins in the Cup, 2 wins in the league, but it looks like back to the bad old habits today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first goal's so easy. It's just a straight pass from the goalkeeper. Midfielder not checking what's around him. And Kilmarnock, it's a really tight pitch down there. The Astroturf, they're so aggressive in their press. They get after you. And you speak about how teams approach playing down at Rugby Park. I think they've just scored again. Bobby Wales and Mally Watkins.
Yeah, here we go again. Stephen Craigan, another goal for the home side. Are you there, Stephen?
Yeah, sorry, Kenny, I'm struggling to hear you. I'm in amongst the Kilmarnock fans here in the main stand. Imagine they're cheering, they're singing, because their team has just got a third goal. But you talk about basic football, and it's just a long ball over the top. The 2 Kilmarnock centre halves, Valotis and Mikulic, all over the place. Bobby Wales just muscles his way through him and just calmly slots the ball beyond Andy Fisher. Talk about simple football, but I've got to say, Bobby Wales at 19 years of age now makes it Kilmarnock 3.
Right, let's get to the top of the table clash in the Championship. Chick Young.
It's a solo run by Barney Stewart. He gets himself into the box. The goalkeeper saves it, he spills it. There's a couple of players in the end of it, and it's forced over the line. Falkirk have equalised, and their stadium absolutely erupts.
Right, we've got the former Falkirk captain Steve McGinn in the studio this afternoon.
I think it's Scotty Arfield with the goal.
Well, we heard from Scotty Arfield last week. Yeah, 2-2 there, a hat-trick from Scotty Arfield, returning to the club last weekend. We felt it could be a key signing, Steve McGinn. They looked right up against it, 2-0 down. They got that goal back right at the stroke of half-time. It's now very much game on.
It felt like a big goal just before half-time, getting the goal back from Wayne Henderson. But you speak about January signings and what they bring, impact. Scott Arfield, throughout his career, scored goals, scored big goals. What a big goal this could be in the run-in. If they, playing against one of their direct rivals, can go 2-0 down at home and turn that round, what a kick on that will give them.
Yeah, the atmosphere there sounds absolutely incredible. Another full house there at the Falkirk Stadium. Let's get
Kenny, by the way,
yeah.
Don't forget, obviously, what happened last week against Partick Thistle.
That's right. They were behind there. The sending off turns the game.
So, as Stephen's touching on there, psychologically, Falkirk have been in a little bit of a shaky place. If they're able, as he's mentioned there, come from 2-0 behind against Ayr United, where it feels like the momentum is all behind them, it could just be the result that they need to just avert what's been going on and just re-stabilise and be like, look, we're still top of the table here, and kick on. But it sets up an incredibly entertaining end to the season.
Yes, absolutely sensational. Another chance for you, Leanne.
Yeah, it's a chance for Motherwell this time. The ball over the top. Tony Watt latched onto it, get a decent enough contact on it. But Jordan Amisa was his match. The ball broke again. Tony Watt's claiming that it should have been a corner. He thought it had come off a county defender last, but the ball's gone behind for a goal kick. A double change for Motherwell as well. Ewan Wilson has come on. Luke Plan just come on. Dom Thompson, not surprisingly, has gone off. I need to say he's had a shocking afternoon along with Andy Halliday. So Stevie Frail looking to bring a few changes and bring a bit of fresh energy to the side, but still Motherwell 0, Ross County 2, Kenny.
Celtic fans aren't happy with Nick Walsh again. I mean, Arnie Engels picks the ball up, he's driving, he's brought down, he's on as a sub along with Maeda, and you can clearly see he's tripped up about 3 times, and he waved play on, and the Celtic fans gave him what for, you can imagine. Not happy.
What a ball from Lennon Miller, by the way, for that chance for Tony Watt. Just beautiful.
He should have scored, shouldn't he?
By the way, I think he does it pretty well.
Yeah.
He's taken that out there, he gets good contact on it. It's not right at the keeper, but the keeper's got to get his boot down and make the block. I wouldn't be overly critical with Tony Watt. I mean, yeah, he could have, but I don't think it's like a must-score opportunity.
I can't get my head round still no Masmanisi. We spoke about half time. I expected the change to happen. I expected him to start the game. I expected him to come on at half time. You were asked Don Cowie, the one player he probably wouldn't want to play for Motherwell today, maybe Lennon Miller being £3-4 million midfielder, but from an attacking point of view, Masmanisi, I'm really surprised he's not.
Has your brother ever said, I just get the impression there must be something that we don't see, because every time you do see him, I think he's the main player.
No, I mean, any time I spoke to Paul, spoke to Andy Halliday, both rave about him. So sometimes you don't know what you're getting off him, but sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah, electric pace. Dumbarton 2, Montrose 3. Aidan Quinn with a goal there for the away side on 68 minutes. Let's get back into the championship. It's a 3-way race for the title. Livingston at home to Dunfermline this afternoon. Let's get the latest from Alan Preston.
The score, Kenny, at the moment is Livingston 0, Dunfermline 0. It's been really poor fare from both sides. Dunfermline didn't register a shot on goal in that opening 45 minutes. Livingston had 2. Second half got better from the team from 5. They've had a couple of decent chances. David Witherspoon with a drive straight at Pryor, and then an auto shot just deflected over the top. But with that result with Falkirk, it's a real opportunity for Livingston if they can win this today to close the gap with the top 2. It's 0-0 still here.
Morton 1, Airdrie 2. Rico Diak with that goal on 68 minutes in that game. That was another chance at Fir Park, Leanne Crichton.
It was Luke Plange this time. A brilliant header, Kenny, and equally a brilliant save from Amisa to his top left-hand corner. Turned it behind for a corner. Motherwell starting to just go through a couple of gears and look to get themselves back in the game, but you almost feel just looking at it, it's going to be one of these afternoons that they're going to be left scratching their head, because as I've mentioned, they've dominated possession, they've been really comfortable between both boxes, but just really toothless in defence. The couple of moments at County have turned them over and really got at them. They've struggled, and I'm looking at the clock. They've made that double change. We're at 68 minutes approaching. Lennon Miller still on the pitch, as you know. He's coming back from a fairly long-term injury as well, and I wouldn't expect that his minutes this afternoon were to be anything beyond that 70-minute mark. So it'll be interesting to see what changes come next. Stephen's obviously mentioned Maswanisi. We're hoping to see him soon. I can only assume it must be an injury, and that's the reason why we've not seen him this far this afternoon, but only time will tell.
Yeah, we've just seen some pictures of caretaker manager Stevie Frail speaking with his coaching staff on the touchline there. He'll have to come up with something pretty soon there. You can hear the reaction from the home fans who were booed off at half time, and they're really struggling against Ross County. What a result this would be for Don Cowie and his team from Dingwall. Let's get back to the game at Celtic Park. The champions very much in control there this afternoon, Billy Dodds, and such is the strength of the squad that the manager was able to make 5 changes today ahead of that huge game in Munich on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and quite rightly so, saving them for that game, no doubt. And they've made another couple today by taking off Hatate and then Jota. and bringing on Maeda and Engels. So just spelling them, giving them a bit of game time, keeping them up to speed. I know they've had a lot of football, but just keeping them ticking over. That's the Celtic way these days. And United are also going to make a couple of substitutions. Payton coming on, Trapanovsky coming on. They've handled the second half pretty well, Dundee United, because you know, Kenny, when teams, especially like Rangers, Celtic, up 2-3-0 against you, could end up anything if you're not careful. They've kept it nice and tight. They've got themselves into forward positions a few times, not been able to go on the score sheet, but managed the second half pretty well, Dundee United. Still Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Thanks to Billy Dodds. Let's get back to Willie Miller. He's at the game at Dens Park this afternoon. It looked as if it could have been game over when the Dons went 2-0 up thanks to that wonderful goal from Keskinen, Willie, but almost within a minute or so the home side right back in it. What's happening there now?
Yeah, it's, you know, Dundee are sniffing an opportunity here to get back into the game. You know, after getting that goal from Palmer Houlden, it was well worked. It looked as though, you know, they were going to lose this game after that magnificent strike from Topi Keskinen. It was something special to watch. It was magnificent sitting up here, seeing a player, you know, showing a bit of quality, because we haven't had too much quality in the game. Plenty of energy, and it's raged from one end to the other. You know, chances for Dundee early in the game, settled down a little bit now, and it's pretty even, I would suggest. But at 2-1, it's still very tight, and you know, Dundee still looking to, you know, to make chances. They've still got the two up top as well. Palmer Houlden coming on, but it's Keskinen down the left-hand side this time, and it's just a game that's going from one side of the park to the other side, one goal to the other goal. Not a great deal of quality in between, but it's exciting enough. You know, the fans are enjoying it. They're both getting behind their teams as well, and they're getting the response from their teams. It's been a good game and exciting game of football, not one for the purists, but plenty of action, and it is still Aberdeen 2 and Dundee 1.
More pace on the part. Adewumi's on for Dundee, and I tell you, you know, we're getting towards 20 minutes to go, and you said it at half time, you know, the performance, and I was telling you, it's just result, and even more so now. Aberdeen were 2 up. If they don't see this out, it magnifies all the concerns, whereas if they do, it just quickly starts to, you know, breed a bit of belief and confidence again.
3v2.
Yes, well,
why not pass it to Simon Murray? Palmer Houlden it is down the left hand side, decides to take the strike on from just round about the edge of the box. He's got two. Adewumi, I think it is, as well as Simon Murray. Slot one of them in. I think it's Murray that should get that pass. He's towards the right hand side. If Palmer Houlden sees it and executes the pass, I think that's a major opportunity.
Well, the strike's that bad that it almost does become a pass.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity there. Aston Villa have equalised at home to 10 minutes, which Ollie Watkins with a goal on 69 minutes. Peterhead have come from behind, 2-1 up now at home to Clyde, and Morton have levelled things up at home to Airdrie, 2 apiece there. Check some more action there at the Falkirk Stadium.
It's just non-stop. We saw changes getting made now by both teams. The attendance, official attendance inside the Falkirk Stadium, I can hardly hear myself speak over the 7,419 inside the ground. I just wonder what this place would be like if they could build a stand on the far side, Kenny. Great atmosphere. The Falkirk fans have got the bit between their teeth now. The tide has definitely turned, and I have to say it's Ayr United who look a little bit weary. If I was putting my money on it, someone to get a winner in this game, and remember it starts at 2 goals, it stands at 2 goals apiece, it would be Falkirk. They'll definitely get a little more about them in these closing, well, a fair old bit of the game to go yet. Still 2-2.
I was just talking about that last attack for Dundee. Just touch on what Michael said at the top of the show about it's just all about winning for Aberdeen today, and being 2-1, maybe seeing this out at 2-1. And also Nielsen's he's not an athlete, maybe was, he's getting on a bit now. Dundee counter-attacked on Aberdeen there, and Palmer Houlden left Nielsen by about 10 yards. You're thinking, to see a game out, bring on your captain Shinnie, just like for like, bring him on, organise it and see out this what would be a crucial 3 points.
Because we were saying before the game, Michael, we're not suggesting there's any pressure on the manager in terms of his position, but what has intensified today, I think, is that it's now his players. He's starting to build his own team, and ahead of this one today, 14 league games without a win. It just feels a bit different today.
It's a club record. Look, let's just get a few things straight. As much as I'm being facetious earlier on about Tom talking about 4 to 6 windows, the point is that yes, the club are not going to be getting rid of Jimmy Tillene just now, no doubt about it, and he probably wouldn't be getting rid of this season, even if that run was to continue and they were to finish in the bottom 6. But what it does do is it alleviates and gets rid of any credit that was built up on that incredible run at the start of the season, and then the pressure mounts from the supporters, and when the pressure mounts from the supporters, it ultimately tells on the board eventually. Maybe not now, but the start of next season if things weren't to be done properly.
Another chance in that game, Willie.
Yeah, it's a big chance as well. Cross into the box, and it's a fantastic header from Tobers, but matched equally with a super save from John McCracken in goal. Dives to his left hand side and puts it out for the corner. So Aberdeen, and and you're watching Aberdeen, you're watching Palaversa's deliveries. It was a perfect. Another one into the box. I think it's the same player as well, or Noster, I'm not too sure. It's one of the two centre backs that gets a head on it, doesn't get enough power behind it as well. So from set pieces, Dundee's got to sharpen up and get these centre backs picked up, because that's two headers that really shouldn't have happened.
It's a great save for McCracken. It's a save he makes that he didn't make for the first goal. The first goal, he's not sure what's around him. He's parried out. Kevin Nisbet's on the move in the box and makes it 1-0. There, he's not sure what's going on. He's getting a good hand to it, puts it round for another corner.
And you were saying earlier, there's not a definitive number one, is there? Keeper at Dundee, and that can be a problem for a team in a defence, can't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's always being there as a player when goalkeeper's having a tough time, but it is always that. What happens if the number 2 comes in and makes it? Then what happens? Do you drop him because he's cost a goal? It's one of the worst situations to be in as a team when you're not really sure what goalie to go with, and it does cause.
It's far from ideal.
Yeah,
far from ideal. I mean, just think about the problems that Hibs had. They, at the start of the season, it clearly wasn't happening. Bursic was not the answer. Then brought in Smith in goals. Has an absolute nightmare in his first game against Aberdeen, and you think to yourself, what's David Gray going to do now? Stuck with him, and I don't think it's had loads to do with the goalkeeper, but he was put in an incredibly difficult position. Just the team as a whole's picked up, but that's because the recognition of, if you keep flipping between one keeper and the next, it just breeds discontent and nervousness and anxiousness in all the wrong areas of the park.
Yeah, Dundee badly need an equaliser there.
Problems, Kenny.
Yes, Alan.
He's had knee problems, Trevor Carter. He has. And you speak to Tony, because they're always at times looking for a keeper because he's had problems with his knees. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason why he's not playing today, but certainly in the last, since he's been at Dundee, he's had big problems with his knees, various occasions.
It could be a big issue for the home side in the game you're watching today if they don't get all 3 points, given the top 2 are meeting in Falkirk, Alan.
It'll be a disappointment for David Martindale. They've not done enough to win the game. Dunfermline have defended resolutely, and they've shown a bit in the second half as well, Dunfermline. But I'll certainly see this as a missed opportunity. You're playing against a team that's third bottom of the league, new manager, some new players, taking a bit of time to bond and gel. But Livingston have just not done enough, and with we've got about 15 minutes left, it's 0-0.
Big chance for Kevin Nisbet there. An informed Kevin Nisbet is slotting that one away. I've no doubt about it. Devlin down the right hand side, just clips the ball to the near post, and he mistimes it. I'm not too sure if he wants to go with it with his head, or his foot ends up trying to knee it, and it was a chance gone.
We touched on this earlier, Stephen, with Willie, and we've just seen the pictures coming into the studio here, and we've been saying it, 14 league games without a win for the Dons. But you look at that backing behind the goal there, absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Unbelievable, yeah. And as I say, I do think they've been really supportive of Jimmy Tillene. It's not just the not winning, it's been the not scoring as well, and the games have been boring at times to watch. I mean, that game last week against Hibs, I've went to Hibs games a lot over the last few years. It's as routine a win as Hibs will ever get. I mean, Aberdeen never really threw a punch, and the good thing today is if they can get this 3 points, they have looked like scoring, they have created chances, they have looked dangerous. So if they can, but it's all about getting over the line.
This Dundee breaking again.
How's it staying out? It's quite incredible.
Chances.
They're shouting for a handball as well. Obviously it will be checked, but Dundee, it's at the Dundee end. And I'm not too sure who gets the final strike on it. It's just deflected past the post as they check for the handball, but it's blasted at the Aberdeen defender. A good break by Dundee, really sharp, and Aberdeen committing too many men forward. You've got to be sensible.
But it goes back to Willie what Stephen was saying.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a middle of the park that's not offering any real protection. You know, it's not a case of camping in and going, right, we stick with what we've got. It's a case of recognising when you've got the ball and you're attacking, you've got to get the balance in your team.
Right, we're waiting for a replay here, Michael. This could be a key moment. So there's a penalty check there. So we're still waiting for the replay to come into the studio. Clear. Yeah, right. Okay, that has been clear. So
Kenny,
still 2-1. Yeah.
I think if you look at Dundee are now sitting in 11th place in their next 3 games, Ross County away, then they go away to Motherwell, and then they're at home to St Johnstone. All sides thereabouts. But the drop from Dundee has been alarming.
Yeah, it's so tight there, and there's real issues at the back. Hence, we go back to the chopping and changing the goalkeeper. You, Alan, you say that Carson has had some issues. Let's continue then going around the grounds. Let's get back to Celtic Park, the champions in full control there. Billy Dodds, a really good, strong performance ahead of that trip to Munich on Tuesday night. Yeah, and a couple of more subs on as well. Kuhn on as well now. Greg Taylor on, giving everybody a run out before that big game. They haven't had it all their own way this second half. They've had plenty of possession. They've not really created that much. Walton has not had a lot to do. As I said, Dundee United have managed it pretty well, especially second half, getting the balance between being nice and secure and still being a threat in the match. So they've done pretty well, but Celtic's still in full control. They still lead 2-0, Kenny.
The second half has looked to me that Dundee United have actually pressed higher up the park rather than just sitting and inviting the pressure. It looks like a lot of it has been trying to engage Celtic higher up the park.
A wee bit, Mikey.
You know, for an opposition manager at Celtic, it's an incredibly difficult, balance to strike. But I am firmly of the belief that if you just sit back and park the bus against the likes of Celtic, you're just waiting. When are they going to score? Is it going to be the first minute, the 90th minute? Because you're just they're going to find an opening eventually, and then that game plan is done. It's done. You need to be able to offer some threat, and also you've got to engage them higher up the park because they just find a rhythm. They find a rhythm and they'll break you open. Yeah, much better in the second half. You feared for them certainly in the first half there when they went 2-0 down, but it's still 2-0 there at Celtic Park. Let's get to Stephen Craig, and apologies for the quality of the line here. Stephen is on the phone at Rugby Park, but the home side there, Stephen, in total control.
Yeah, indeed, Kenny, they're leading by 3-0, and there's just over 12 minutes left in the game. Since the third goal went in after an hour, it was Bobby Wales that managed to get the third goal. St Johnstone have made a couple more changes. They've tried to carry a little bit more of a fight, but they haven't really carried a threat, and it's been quite routine for the home side. Mackenzie Kirk actually had a decent chance for the visitors. Graham Carey fed him in. He was one of the subjects of on. Graham Carey put a lovely ball into Kirk. He should have scored. He hit it over the crossbar. But that's been about it. Derek McInnes will be delighted to get 3 points today. I'd said ahead of the game that they were one of only 2 sides who hadn't won back-to-back league games. Dundee are now standing alone in that front because Kilmarnock are going to win this game this afternoon. It's 3-0 with 10 minutes to go. Thanks to Stephen Craig. And next stop is Fir Park. Leanne, we had a wee look earlier on. Stevie Frail, the caretaker manager, on the touchline, negotiating, talking with his coaching staff there. How on earth he could turn events in the game. Has he done anything at all? Has there been any change?
I mean, he's rung the changes. Nicholson's come on, Wilson's come on, Maswinissi's come on, Luke Planger's come on, but nothing's really changed, and it's suiting County now because Motherwell are really having to come out and get after the game, and County are just looking to pick them off. Every time a pass goes backwards from a Motherwell player, the fans are on their case. They're just not pleased with what they're seeing. The product in between both boxes looks at times pleasing on the eye when they move the ball and they look to try and keep it, but they've been absolutely toothless at the top end of the pitch this afternoon. They've offered really nothing cutting edge. A couple of half chances here and there, as we mentioned. The Tony Watt chance inside the 6-yard box. Luke Plange had the header that was saved really well from Jordan Amisa. But other than that, there's been nothing really to write home, and I'm surprised Lennon Miller is still on the pitch. That's 82 minutes on the clock, and he's obviously feeling a lot fresher in terms of his physicality coming back from injury. I know it was something that you had asked the guys about earlier on, Kenny, but as it stands, as I say, 82 minutes on the clock. It's Motherwell 0, Ross County 2, and they're heading for their 4th away victory that would be this afternoon. So a big afternoon for Don Cowie's side if they can hang on in.
Yeah, a lot of praise to them, Michael. Michael, but concerning times for Motherwell fans. A few weeks ago, they're sitting comfortably in the top 6. They had a League Cup semi-final. Stuart Kettle was the manager. Then things just started to change. The fans not happy with the style of play. Stuart Kettle left. We understand they will bring in a new manager next season. But looking at the league position at the live table right now, they drop out of the top 6 and they're just 4 points clear of 11th spot. Another chance, Chick.
No, it's not a chance. It's a goal, and what a goal it is from Celtic to make it 3-0. It's Adam Ida. It all came from Ross Graham trying to play out from the back, get robbed at the edge of the box, but Greg Taylor the shot. It's a brilliant save from Walton down to his left. It made its way out to the far left hand side, and Adam Ida took a touch. Wait to see this, lads. Just bent one, right foot curler right into the top corner. It's Celtic 3, Dundee United 0.
It's an unbelievable hit from Adam Ida. When the play's going on, you're actually thinking, is Adam Ida going off? Have I missed that? Because you're looking at the cross coming in the striker, but he's hung out and he's gone to the flick on from Ross Graham, and wow, what a hit.
Well, just like Stephen's talking about in terms of where he is, you're thinking to yourself, is that Jota? And then you think, no, he's been subbed. I mean, it's the area of the park, out on the side of the box, the inside left channel. First touch at his feet perfectly.
For a possible foul, Michael, just to let you know.
Possible foul? Well, I mean,
it's an amazing finish.
He whips it with all the power, in step, smash into the top corner. I'm not sure where the potential foul is, but what a goal.
It might have come from the initial when he robbed the ball. That's no foul, goal.
Yeah, and a fantastic goal from Adam Ida. I just wonder if he'll start. I think just listen to Brendan Rodgers. Last touch, he's gone off.
Yeah, he's gone off. So that can he maybe tell you a story in itself?
Well, listening to Brendan Rodgers post-match on Wednesday evening, certainly I get the feeling that Maida would start through the middle on Tuesday in that game in Munich. Full coverage on Sports, and we're on air from 6 o'clock. So the champions in full control. Sorry?
Did he tell you?
He kept talking about how things improved when he came onto the park.
I think when you look back to his Aston Villa performance and what they're going to need against Bayern Munich away from home, they need a runner, a powerhouse, somebody who's going to work his socks off. And I think... And with no lack of talent either, as you see by that goal. So I think they'll be a big player for Celtic during the week.
See, go back to Motherwell, Michael, just talking about their league position, looking at the live table, dropping out of the top 6 for the first time in a long while, just 4 points clear of the relegation playoff spot. Is concerning times.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I said it a couple of weeks ago when Stuart Kettle stepped down, their position this season's on the precipice in terms of they had the League Cup semi-final to look forward to. They were sitting in the top 6. They had, obviously Paul McGinn and Lennon Miller to come back into the team. So there's a lot of positives. But the flip side is, if somebody was to come in, it could very quickly drop away in terms of the campaign. That you look at the run of games they had, if they weren't going to get the results, they'd quickly fall out the top 6. All of a sudden the pressure starts to mount. You've not got a window because January's just been. So as much as there was positives in the season so far and potentially looking forward, it was right on a knife's edge as to how this season was going to play out. And for a new manager coming in, it's not easy.
Yeah, Leanne's there for us. We'll hear the reaction from the Motherwell fans on the full-time whistle. Let's get back to Willie Miller. Just looking at the screen here, the home side on the attack there, Willie.
Yeah, they've got a corner, and it's still going, still raging, end to end. Dundee certainly have given it everything, and if they're going to go down, then they're going down with a good bit of effort attached to the result. But they haven't given up as yet. Aberdeen are always dangerous on the break as well. The referee deciding to give an offside decision is quite incredible. When Dundee have got the ball and they're on the front foot and they're taking the game to Aberdeen, the same linesman put his flag up after the ball was clearly out. He let play go on and then put it up about 30 seconds later. He's having a poor game, and certainly the fans are not enjoying it. So it's a free kick to Dundee, but they're giving it everything. It's, as I said, it's not been one for the purists, but as far as energy and commitment are concerned, then both teams have got loads of that in show.
It's so frustrating for Tony Docherty, isn't it, with a decision like that? We can see him in the touchline there, Michael. Right, Michael's got his head in his hands.
Well, what is it? The free kick. John McCracken's just kicked the ball out. I mean, he was trying to play it into the area of the park that Josh Mulligan had just broken into before the free kick was given, and he just kicked it, and it was nowhere near him. It goes straight out for a by kick. I mean, the frustration is that, and by the way, I'm just looking at the replay here, he's not even offside because he was in his own half.
Leanne Crichton.
Ross County.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Again, comes from the runner, against the runner play. It's a free kick to Motherwell. Lennon Miller looks to take it quickly. They give the ball away. They lose it. They turn it over. Josh Nisbet causes a bit of bother down the left-hand side. The ball's squared, maybe 25 yards out to Conor Randall. Takes a touch, clears his feet, hits it low and hard beyond Ellery Balcombe. Motherwell 0, Ross County 3, and the fans are up off their seats and heading for the exit door.
Leanne, you asked if the first one, if Ellery Balcombe should do better. That Conor Randall shot can't go in. There's no real pace in it. I don't know why he's always so far off his line.
Yeah.
He gives himself less chance of saving those.
Honestly, Stephen, across the board this afternoon, it's been really, really poor from Motherwell. And I'm looking at the body language of the players just now. Every one of them just lined up in their positions, hands on hips, shoulders slumped. I mean, they'll be fuming because you know what it's like as a player. You're going to carry the flak, you're listening to the boos. It's just a really poor afternoon. And credit to Ross County because they've come with a game plan. Even a moment or so ago, Zach Ashworth picked up a yellow card for what was a cynical foul. He brought down Maswanisi, who was in the counter-attack, virtually 3 for 3. Motherwell were through. And you know what? County have just shown this afternoon a bit of quality in terms of not having the ball, having that structure out of possession, doing your duties really well. And again, they've picked him off again here. Conor Randall dispossessing a Motherwell player. Motherwell are all over the place.
Yeah, just watching the pictures come in there, Michael, we saw the County fans, the Hardy band there behind the goal, celebrating, absolutely delighted, and the Motherwell fans streaming out the ground.
El Dingwall will be jumping tonight, that's for sure. You know, in all seriousness, right, 17 months I think it was without a away win. I'm pretty sure it was 17 months or certainly something like that. Ross County are now in the top 6 for away form. That's their 4th win away from home. I think Don Cowie deserves a lot of credit for the revival of them on the road, and generally just for the position that they've got them in. From 11th up to the top 6, certainly you're talking about just a few points. There's nothing in it, and Ross County with that win, they've put themselves in a great position to try and make sure they're not getting dragged into that playoff spot. Touching on what the guys are talking about with Balcombe and goals, it's one of those ones that I don't think you can absolutely hammer the goalkeeper, but you see when you see those going in, you think instinctively you're thinking, should he?
Yeah.
Do better. And I do think he should do better, because you look at it going in, it looks like he just falls down rather than moving his feet quickly to be able to go over and make the save. Balcombe for me is a keeper that there's lots of those that sort of go in and they're not terrible mistakes, but you end up going, are you ever going to make a save?
You've touched on it a lot today about the mental side of the game and how pivotal moments in the season. I mean, look at the things that can happen today with Ross County going up a few places, Kelly jumping up, and then Aberdeen, who have been on a shocking run, going into third as well. Yeah, everything's rosy again. I mean, it's so pivotal at times in the season to set yourself up for a good run in that it is crucial, as you said, the mental side of the game at certain times of the season.
Yeah, just looking at the live table, Billy, the game you're watching there, Dundee United, as you say, they slipped to 4th spot, but Aberdeen up to 3rd as things stand, 38 points, just 11 points between them and Dundee in the relegation playoff spot. There is so much to play for this season.
Oh, it's a nice batch down there and all bunched up, isn't it? And putting any sort of little mini run together can just propel you up the league, or a little mini run where you don't win games, you're suddenly into relegation trouble. So very intriguing, very enjoyable.
Right, let's
I was going to say, Ross County with that victory, they're 2 points ahead of Dundee in the relegation playoff spot, but they're also 2 points off Kelly, who are now in 6th spot. So I think it just highlights, as I was saying, from the relegation spot up to the top 6, one result changes it all.
Yeah, and this was such a sore run for St Johnstone this afternoon on the back of their improved form.
You can forget about St Johnstone, they're gone.
You think so?
Aye. I mean, I thought a few weeks ago, even when they picked up a result and then they get a second result and you go, all right, maybe, but no, they're not. I mean, no, they just schoolboy errors far too often. There is no way they're picking up the number of points they need to, while the rest are going to drop what they would need to get themselves out of trouble. No chance.
We just wonder who will replace them in the top flight, the game at the Falkirk Stadium.
Now, 90 minutes of my life I will never get back.
Right, a dreadful game there for Alan Preston, but Livingston still very much in the title race. We'll get back to Chick Young at the Falkirk Stadium in a minute, but I know there's been another goal down at Rugby Park. Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, it was
the team
actually
that
just
are finished.
right. It was just right when Michael said they're gone, and through went Graham Kerr, and he looked around to see where Michael was, and he just put the ball in the net. That is going to be game over, but it's 3-1 to Kilmarnock. Graham Kerr went through. He's actually been really influential since he came on. I'm surprised he hasn't started because he came on and was involved in the goal last weekend against Hamilton in the Cup. But it's 3-1 to Kilmarnock after a Graham Kerry goal.
It's a brilliant goal. It's so well worked. It's a nut back and through, third man run from Graham Carey. It's such a good goal. Nobody's ever questioned since the managers come in, Samuel Valakari's come in, their attacking play. But it's just 10-15 minutes into the game at Rugby Park. Celtic, after a defeat last season, what do? They play Adamida, and from a goal kick they miss out Kilmarnock's press, and they go long to build into the game, because it's notoriously a hard place to go. Tight pitch, they press really well. St Johnstone they overplay, they give you a chance to score early, and from then it's been a long afternoon for St Johnstone fans.
Yeah, a long afternoon. Let's get back to that big game at the top of the Championship at the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk are home to Ayr United. There for us is Chick Young.
Yeah, Kenny, the 90 minutes have come and gone here in front of 7,419 fans in the Falkirk Stadium. It is Falkirk 2, Ayr United 2. Ayr United 2-0 ahead. Jay Henderson with a penalty after Scott McMahon was brought down the box. George Oakley put them 2-0 ahead before Liam Henderson with a header made it 2-1 at half time. There was an equaliser from Scott Arfield to make it 2 each, and the full-time whistle has just gone, so no change at the top of the Championship tonight. Falkirk hang on to the lead. Ayr United thought they had gone past them at one point. It wasn't to be. There was applause all round for the supporters and handshakes from the players down there. More drama in this fantastic title race, but it finished full-time at the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk 2, Ayr United 2.
Thanks to Chick Young, another great advert for the Championship there at the Falkirk Stadium. Once again, a sellout there. Yeah, what we got?
The Kraken's up for the corner kick. We've got the last minute, probably, maybe a couple of minutes, and Dundee have got the Kerry Dean's telling me it's finished. Yeah, it's finished. This will be the last opportunity.
Right, here we go.
John Kraken's taking the opportunity to get himself up there as the ball comes in. I think that's it. I think Shayden Morris is going to take it a walk, and if Kerridine is right with his timing, then the final whistle, and he's absolutely precise. So what prices? Aberdeen take this one. It's Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2.
Yeah, the run is over.
Kenny, Motherwell 0, Ross County 3.
Celtic Park 3-0 to Celtic against Dundee United.
Thanks, guys. And Leanne, for the Motherwell fans that didn't troop out there, make their feelings loud and clear there at Fir Park.
Yeah, the boos rang out. A lot of them had already, as you say, headed for the exit door. They were gone. But look, I think Motherwell fans, they accept where they're at just now, and I'm sure they'll be desperate for an announcement from the club in the coming days to see who this new manager is going to be coming in the door. I would expect next week at some point, but they'll certainly get their work cut out, that's for sure. Yeah,
they're talking about the early part of next week, and on the head of a squad that's got to be low in confidence. Andy Stephen again, obviously your brother Paul is there. It's been such a disappointing run, and the fans have been saying for a long time now that the style of play, I think it was a bit unfair perhaps, has been not what they wanted to see. They made their feelings very clear there at Fir Park this afternoon. It's a big job for the new man when he comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for a start, they've got too many players. I think there's 35 first team players, which is far too many for a club of Motherwell's size. It felt like they needed a manager. I know Motherwell, they'll point to the fact that you need to get the right man, and he might not have been available until hopefully it gets appointed in the midweek. But being out the Scottish Cup, having 2 weeks to prepare for Ross County at home, it felt like a really big game in the season in terms of kicking on, not worrying about the relegation spot below. And I think they've missed a trick there, not getting the new guy in. If he's appointed on Monday or Tuesday, getting him in for this game.
For viewers who have joined us on BBC One this afternoon, you've been pushing your brother Paul to get some insight as to what's happening, that he's not given much away. Give you a wee bit, didn't he?
No, I think, we heard from a decent source it's going to be a foreign manager. Paul said it's not going to be Kitsbaya, but he doesn't tell me anything anymore when I start to probe. But, as I said, Motherwell need a manager sooner rather than later now, especially after such a bad day at Fir Park.
Yeah, and as you said earlier on, Michael, a terrific turnaround in fortunes for Ross County, particularly away from home.
Aye, huge result for them, and obviously gets them up the table away from the playoff spot. It's a fourth victory away from home, which is brilliant for them, and Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting end to the campaign for try to get in the top 6, try to challenge for Europe, but also that relegation playoff spot. I'm just looking at Dens Park, and there was a shot of the away crowd full, bouncing,
tremendous,
and it's been a long time coming for the Aberdeen supporters, but I'm sure they'll enjoy travelling back up the road for Dundee to the Granite City, and they have now been able to put that run behind them, and it sets up, as I was just saying, a brilliant race for third place with Dundee United in and about it. Hearts and Hibs turn up and fortunes for them as well. It's going to be very, very entertaining to see how that plays out.
Derek McInnes up next for Jimmy Tilleen.
Yeah,
that's going to be good.
And Killie are into the top 6.
Yeah, because we said it's been a disappointing campaign for Killie. We know they had the distractions, the wrong word, but the challenge of European football, and it was a sticky start to the season, but again, they're showing their class. He's a quality manager.
Not just a sticky start. I mean, you're up until a couple of weeks ago, Killie were floating around about the relegation playoff spot. Now, I know that could quickly change again, because we've just been talking about how there's only 2 points between Ross County, who have moved up, and Killie from 10th to 6th. But Dundee are now in the relegation playoff spot on 27 points. One result and all of a sudden you're talking about the relegation playoff spot around the top 6. So they need to continue to back it up with a bit of consistency.
They've kicked themselves in the foot a lot of times this year. Kilmarnock. You think that the first time St Johnstone travelled down to Kilmarnock, they go down to 10 men after about 6 or 7 minutes. I mean, there's been loads of occasions that there are games where you'd expect the Derek McInnes team to win, especially at home, and Discipline has been the reason that this is the first time they're into the top 6 this season.
We'll have a look at the Championship table, have a look at the Premiership table in just a few minutes' time, but let's look at the classified